Welcome to Bangerz, the podcast formerly known as Goof Troop. I'm your host, Kyle Conway, and with me, as always, we have our two returning guests. We have Alex Davis.
Hey.
And Cameron Hicks.
Howdy.
And no one else at all.
There was never anyone else.
Yeah. If you saw anyone in previous podcasts, they were ghosts.
This is us.
We have excised them from this place, so now it is just us. But in truth, Jimmy is not with us at the moment.
Or this world.
R.I.P.
He's not of this world anymore.
And Jake was murdered by a rival gang.
They call themselves the Pub Crew. They heard about his Mr. George comments and they put a hit out on him.
Yeah. Now he's a pub sub underground.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be us three. It's going to be a bit more intimate, a bit more close.
Yeah, kind of.
I love that word.
Yeah, intimate. Incredibly close.
I can stare into each of your eyes now and really get a feel for this thing.
We're actually
extremely loud and incredibly close.
We're actually all somewhat close to the one mic we own right now, so I think the audio is going to be popping this time around.
We'll all lean in occasionally, give you sweet nothing. Right in your eardrums.
Occasionally we'll be able to hear the little whisper conversations we have to the side of one another.
And I think maybe sometimes when we talk, it sounds like we whistle a little bit. Or who was that?
That was Jimmy.
Okay, we're gonna miss that, so I'll do my best to recreate like a little bit of the groundhog from Winnie the Pooh, like a wonderful. I don't really know how to do it.
It's okay.
Also, after the end of the podcast, we will have an hour of us just popping bubble wrap. So if you're into that, I look forward to that. A little ASMR magic from your boys at Bangerz.
Really popping.
Yeah.
But it's not like the little bubble wrap. It's those big ones you get in the Amazon the box. So it's just. Real loud pops.
Also be putting peanut butter in our hands and just squishing it by the mic. Just some good ASMR content. I figure we should start, as we always do, with what you've been playing, what you've been up to. Start with Alex?
I guess.
Yeah. It's 2 on 1.
The pressure.
So what you been up to, Alex?
Well, let's see. Continuing the journey of Millwall, the lovely story of a small London club. I think Millwall's near London. I don't really know. For my FIFA,
England is a small country, so
relatively,
they're all
probably
close
make the
to
drive
London.
in at least 30 minutes an hour, probably.
Sure.
You might walk there. At Millwall, you might mill about and just end up in Millwall near a wall. I don't know. But yeah, so that was my campaign that I've been doing for FIFA because I love great games like that. Really just challenging and really in-depth gameplay.
Good. Did you kick the ball real good?
I did.
Okay.
Sometimes you kick it and you just, it's just, you hear that sweet pop, that good pop of the ball.
Supple leather.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you say whenever you get a good kick in there?
Oh, boy.
Usually just, oh, man, that was a great old kick.
That's a good boy.
Kick that ball nice. So there's that. And then what else have I...
Have you done like a character creation thing where you get to put yourself in the game?
No, I'm not really into fulfilling my fantasy as a soccer player or anything like that. Yeah, I mostly try to make the U.S. men's national team not shitty. So 2018
Impossible
World Cup, yeah. I'll be 30. Yeah, I'll be about 30, 31 by the next World Cup that we could be in. So that feels fucking great. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I guess I shouldn't complain too much because the players are probably pretty bummed about it. I'm sure,
Yeah, but it's also their fault, not yours, right?
I don't think
it's definitely their fault.
I don't think it's their fault.
Maybe it's society.
The only one I don't hold responsible is Pulisic.
I don't know a damn thing about Americans.
Bolzik. What's that stuff?
God, Bolzik. It's bullshit.
He definitely kicks the best from what I've seen.
Pulisic.
Yes.
Or Pulisic, depending on the commentator.
His close friends call him Bolzik.
Anyway, it's a little known fact. What else have I been doing? I finished up Black Mirror. So that was good. I really enjoyed that show.
I've only seen 2 episodes of that show, and for some reason, I think it's because everyone's super hot on it. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that.
And I do like what I saw. The 2 episodes I saw were pretty good, but I don't know.
I would say, like, for my review of it, like, I don't think the acting's spectacular, like, but I do like the plot behind it. It makes you think a little bit, like,
some of them.
You could see some of these things carrying out in the future, like
some of them.
Yeah, like the first episode I saw, like, if I'm Prime Minister, don't fuck the pig. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So, I'll remember that when I run for Prime Minister.
Just don't do that.
Yeah.
I think I really
Girls walking in the street don't need to fuck the pig.
Yeah, but he didn't know that he did have to fuck the pig.
Yeah, it's true.
Gotta put down your pride, swallow your pride.
I think let the pig swallow. I interpreted the episode that he did want to fuck the pig the whole time, and he was playing coy the whole time.
Was he in on it with the other guy?
Yeah,
okay, interesting.
I mean,
go him then.
Kidnapping the princess was way too easy.
Yeah.
He's a secret exhibitionist.
It's more of an instructional manual.
Yeah. And I think I really haven't done too much other than that.
Busy week.
Yeah, super busy week. I don't even know what I know. I did stuff. I saw that movie.
That one movie.
Yeah, that real good one movie.
That one old movie.
What did we see?
I, Tonya.
That was actually. Sorry, I'm gonna roll back because that was the highlight of the week, for sure. That movie was super good. I loved pretty much every minute of it. So. But that'll be my.
I think it could have only been better if we had actually lived it, because you take seeing the movie. You can't. That all happened in '96.
Yeah.
Right. So
Tonya Harding and all that
technically,
stuff.
we were alive. We were not comprehending it. So you take what you see in the movie.
Yeah.
What I would think, I would hope the way they portrayed it was that this was the real story. This is facts. This is what actually happened. This is the true story of Tonya Harding. You take that. And you go and tell your mom, like, oh, I really enjoyed that movie about I, Tonya. And she's like, oh, that redneck bitch. Like, you take it there and you're like, oh, okay, maybe what they were saying in the movie and the commentary they had on the media in general, maybe that might
change it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe that would have skewed the way you would watch the movie.
I think you're super right because I did talk to my mom about it.
Did she have the same opinion? Like, that redneck?
No, what she said that I just asked her, like, what do you know about like this incident? Like, obviously I don't remember anything about it. So I went in with kind of clear eyes. What do you think about it? And she's like, I don't remember much, but didn't her husband / bodyguard, like, so she combined 2 people and was like, didn't he break her leg like with a crowbar or something like that? So she's kind of like,
pretty close.
Yeah, hitting around the bullseye, but not quite as to what we were shown. And then she also recalled, like, I think the boyfriend or the husband's name was Sean, and like again close in there, but what is that, 20
years?
Yeah, 22 years ago.
It's not dwell on it,
Well, I mean, just like
passage of time.
The brain might forget some of the lesser details of the super interesting.
Yeah, like I basically remember the name, like Tonya Harding, crazy. Something broken legs. That's what I remember.
Yeah, and that's with only through catching it on like 30 for 30s, and even then, whenever Alex mentioned that Tonya Harding thing, I'd watched 2 documentaries on it, and I still thought that she had beat the shit out of Nancy Kerrigan with a baseball bat. So it wasn't something that I was super knowledgeable about going into the movie, but the way that it was portrayed by the characters, both the mother and by the Tonya Harding character played by Margot Robbie, I thought they did a super great job. Margot Robbie.
Watching the trailer, it reminded me a ton of Wolf of Wall Street.
Did it?
The way that, maybe it was just the way the trailer was cut, but it had that very, like, looking at camera VO from Margot Robbie over, like, the clips, and it made me think of Leo. He's sort of narrating the entirety of Wolf of Wall Street as he's going through the events.
Yeah.
And also Margot Robbie's in both of them.
The only trailer I saw was maybe a couple teasers or something like that I picked up, maybe a scene or 2 here or there, a picture. So I didn't really know a lot going into it. I knew it had pretty good critic ratings. Mm-hmm. But talk about Leo and talk about Wolf of Wall Street, another movie I thought was great. I felt after seeing this as a movie and with the characters, I felt like it was super entertaining, but it was also very gripping because the way that it was edited, that it was shot. You really felt those characters, or at least I did. Mm-hmm. And it was funny, like you had some, I'll say, lighthearted moments, and then it's the whole storyline is kind of stitched together as the ups and downs of the character. You get to see how her life wasn't picture perfect, as so often is, and it kind of culminates at the end of this movie, and you realize that it went from bumping your buddy who's watching it on the chest because that part's funny as hell, to everyone like kind of gripping the armrests.
Okay, it got real.
And like leaned back, and no one, like, I looked over. I think Alex, Skylar, and myself were all sitting there perfectly cross-legged. You could have heard a pin drop in the theater. Yeah. Everyone was enraptured by the movie. It was, I don't know, I came out of it.
To be fair, we just saw it. It's been out for, a month and a half. So there was only probably
that long, actually.
It's been a while, but there weren't that many people.
In 2017.
Well, yeah.
I didn't realize
there weren't very many people in the theater, but you still could hear pin drop. And I think for me, adding on to that, there was just comparing it to the post real quick. The post, I was sitting there thinking, when is this movie going to end? Again, I won't say that it was a bad movie. It just wasn't my movie. I thought it was, like the story itself had the potential to be interesting, but, it wasn't compared to the other movies we saw that week. And then this one just did not compare.
Yeah.
But this movie had a very clear story arc. It had this is the building rising action. This is the climax. This is the falling action. Here's your kind of resolution. And I feel like that's what really makes a great movie for me, is just no wasted space, no wasted or downtime in the movie. So I'm sitting here, Cameron's right. I had from a psychological perspective, like a really defensive position. I was leaning back this. I can't believe this is fucking happening. I don't want this to be the way it goes down, but from history, that it does. And just kind of sitting there, kind of having to take it.
And I think that's a really apt comparison, talking about the post and then comparing it with this I, Tonya, because there were two things that were, based on history.
Yeah.
And so this isn't, they're not making anything up, or maybe they are. Maybe they're
there's probably some Hollywood that
sure, but they portrayed those stories in two different ways. One managed to make it actually entertaining. The other one turned it into a fucking snooze fest.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. The fact that it wasn't up for Best Picture kind of upset me. Check after, going back and saying, I checked it later. The post is sitting on there, just fucking smirking at me.
I don't even know what the post is about. Besides,
it's the worst. It's fucking worst. It's the my most hated movie. You hate The King's Speech because it beat Social Network back in what year?
Yeah, but the post isn't gonna win.
I don't care if the post wins. I fucking hate that it's even in the realm of existence with those other movies.
I don't know if you can compare that level of disappointment.
I am. I hate
Social Network. It got gypped. Something bullshit. God damn it.
I don't think I knew you back then to hear this. So I'd like to hear about that. We'll catch up on that some other time.
We can do it during the Oscar betting one or whatever.
Good.
Yeah, because we definitely got to do that at a certain point before March 30th. I think it's March 30th. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. They're gonna think long and hard on these 8 movies, really figure it out.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. That's it so far.
If I think of anything else that was pressing, we can come back to it. But I'm pretty sure it's been a pretty down week. Like I said earlier, off camera, I pulled a muscle in my chest earlier this week. So
shit!
Yeah, that's why I'm actually sitting
just
here.
So much laughs.
I don't know what I was doing, but I just felt it coming on, and then afterwards,
is it possible to jerk it? Just really you got to get the pecs involved.
Yeah. It was the full thrust,
the full extension.
Yeah. I think what it was. All right, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I can tell you the ramifications have been, I can look left pretty good. Looking this way at you, not very comfortable.
He's doing it mostly with his eyes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's why I'm sitting here, because, should I need to look at the camera, that's easy.
You just think Alex is really suspicious of you.
Yeah, it's like,
hey, always gives me the side.
What's going on over there? Yeah, so that's the other thing going on in my life. But we have some things on the horizon that I don't know if we'll talk about. I think we're going to watch a Star Wars movie, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, just
at some point, the Super Bowl is kind of showing up to fuck up the plain Star Wars weekend.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was supposed to be this weekend.
Yeah. The Super Bowl, right? Isn't the Super Bowl still this weekend?
It is.
Okay.
That's why it's fucked up the Star Wars weekend.
Is it on Sunday or is it on Saturday?
Well, Jake, R.I.P.
We could talk about this after. I just realized,
I figured we would invite all the fans to the watching party.
Yeah, I'm sure Disney won't hit us. Again, our long storied history of using copyrighted Disney stuff.
We've got an incredible relationship with Walt himself.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I hope so.
It goes back weeks.
Because we're going to need him on that witness stand.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. How about you, Cameron? What you been up to?
I have saw I, Tanya with Alex. I mentioned at the end of the last podcast, or the beginning of the last podcast, that I had put Dark Souls 3 into my PS4. I have since played about 10 hours of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a lot to say. If you played Dark Souls 2, I feel like you kind of got an idea. Maybe the movement is a little more
Fluid?
Maybe, yeah.
I heard he got, there was a decent amount of Bloodborne influence.
Yeah, not enough, because Bloodborne is the pinnacle of those games for me.
Okay. I hear that said a lot.
Yeah, and I think it comes with the pace of the combat. It goes from it changes it from hide behind your shield for the rest of the eternity, and I think Bloodborne does end up having one shield in it, but it has 0% damage reduction, so you just hold it up and get fucking murdered. So, and they introduced that pretty early, so it's like, oh, okay, I guess I can't do this. Not going to be an option. So, Dark Souls 3, the combat is exactly what you expect from a Souls game. I haven't had a ton of difficulty with it so far. I think I beat 4 or 5 bosses now.
Quit bragging.
Now it's maybe just muscle memory or whatever, but I think I only had one boss that I died to more than twice. I think I beat the first one in one go. The second one maybe took me 2
Have you played the previous Souls games, right?
I played 2. I didn't play 1 because I didn't really have a great way of playing it.
Yeah, PC is rough.
Yeah, I just don't want to go there. And plus, you play Bloodborne, you play 2 and 3.
They are doing that remaster.
That game is going to feel archaic. Maybe if they update the feel of the game, I don't know. I don't think that I'm going to go back to that one. I don't think there's any reason for me to. I don't come. It's not like I'm coming for the story, right?
Well, the reason
I come for the atmosphere.
The reason why I mentioned that, apparently, there's a lot of callbacks. I assume Dark Souls 2 also gets called back on Dark Souls 3. I know Dark Souls 1, there's a lot of callbacks to that if you did play Dark Souls 1, like, oh shit, that's that.
Some fan service.
Yeah.
That would be neat. I'm hoping to get that from Bloodborne 2 if that ever releases.
I'm sure. They had that 1 5-second trailer.
I
forget what was
which
even
could have been Bloodborne at the
I'm sure it was.
The game trailer awards or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I've been playing that. It's nothing crazy. That's all I'll say. It doesn't matter. I also played today. I dusted off my Switch. I don't have a ton of reasons to break that console out of the actual dock. That I was going to Orlando for something with work, so I was sitting in the back seat riding with the rest of the people from the company, and I just popped in my headphones and turned on Mario Odyssey. And Mario Odyssey is one of the 2 games that I basically bought the Switch for. So after hearing what everybody else said and after dipping my own toes in, I can confirm that I really enjoy that game. And I think the way that do y'all know the premise of the game where your hat now can...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Snappy or whatever it is?
It's called Cappy.
Cappy. That was close.
It's called Cappy.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, do with the game.
What, snapback?
Yeah. It could be. So Cappy, you can take control of quite a few things in the environment. Of course, in the reveal trailer, there's a T-Rex.
Mm-hmm.
You can become a ball of lightning. I'm only in I guess probably the second world and not very far into that one. But I'm just really enjoying that game so far. It's kind of what I always hoped I would get from that Switch, from that purchase. But as being my first Nintendo console, I feel some magic there.
Yeah.
In this Mario game, something that I didn't really feel with Zelda. Everyone talking a big game on Zelda.
I think Mario works with the Switch better. Just the structure of it, you can get in and get out, no problem.
Yeah.
Whereas Zelda's like,
and there's so many cool little things in Mario. Like like I said, I'm only on the second world, an hour in. I'm not finding all the moons or anything. I'm not doing a completionist run.
Mm-hmm.
But in the first world, you get to go in like this little 2D world. You break down the wall with the T-Rex, and all of a sudden you go through a pipe and you're in the 2D plane. And I thought that was so neat. I just wasn't what I was expecting. And so far there's already been a few of those neat little surprises that, even though I have no love for Mario because I never owned any of those Nintendo consoles, I'm just getting that, I don't know, some sense of childlike joy out of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It seems like pure fun, and that's what I'm getting from that. That's kind of what I want from that on the go experience. Anyway, so
also, it seems like it's a lot more obvious. Like it's almost like a game design workshop. That's what Mario is. Zelda is as well, but you can tell like they just threw a whole lot more things at the wall for Mario with all these different mechanics. And was it Cappy specifically? So there's more of those, oh, that was clever moments.
Yeah. And you start off in the first world, you throw the hat on a frog, and all of a sudden you're a fucking frog, and it's, I don't know, it's over there, the mustache is twitching at you, and there's something great about it. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it yet. Give me another week with it. I think it's going to be a pretty good game.
Stay tuned.
Other people probably everyone else has been shitting on it, but I think I'm going to like it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm glad to be the only voice in that conversation.
Yeah.
Being positive.
Anywho, I think that's
fuck Mario.
This is
God damn it. You join the club.
Those are the two games I ended up playing this week. That's all for me.
That's it.
Go on,
It did
Kyle.
give me a little bit of inspiration just that I want to finish Link Between Worlds.
God, what a good game. That's a fantastic game.
Yeah, I've played probably half of it, so just you haven't played it, right?
No,
I'll bring it over for you.
I don't think so.
Really?
I've got it.
It was really
I
good.
got Breath of the Wild right now that I'm just really not into.
Right, so I think
Link Between Worlds is a delight.
Maybe
I would boot up the game and hit the start, and immediately my mood was happy. Like walking into Disney or something. It was that type of feeling.
Well, and what you said
Had y'all played Zelda games before?
No.
That was my first Zelda game.
Yeah.
See, maybe I need something like that to get me
Well, it's
jazzed
just
for
like
Breath of the Wild.
with your like, this feels clever and it makes me happy. I felt like that. I had that same reaction to some of the things in Link Between Worlds. Like,
Absolutely,
oh, this is cool. There's puzzles within the game itself, which is neat.
And it's way more condensed because it's a remake of the original Zelda. So it isn't 2D, but it's kind of 2D. There's dungeons, and the dungeons are kind of like Mario levels. Like you get in there, there's all these puzzles you solve. You only have certain items that you need to use for these dungeons. It's just a cool game, really fun, delightful, easy to pick up and put down.
So maybe that'll be my next goal before the next podcast is to have a full view of that, because I think I'm halfway through.
Yeah, I don't think it's that long either.
Yeah,
when compared to Breath of the
I'm
Wild.
at the point. I don't know if you'll remember. I'm at the point where you're battling I forget the name of the witch, but the witch
comes out of the painting, right?
Yeah, like you're battling her in this like kind of squarish room, and there's pillars around the room, and she has like some wicked fire attack or something that's killed me once, and then I was like, well, I'll just shut this off for now.
Have you gone to the other world?
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, you still got some game left.
The other world is in.
If I remember correctly, there's sort of like a mirror world.
Okay, I think maybe I have been there, but
Okay.
I'll tell you once I play
Dredging
it.
up memories from 4 or 5 years ago.
No,
Yeah. It's like when it first released.
I played it like
2013.
maybe 6 or 7 months ago, but just that was kind of before I moved back and all that stuff has happened.
Yeah,
so
sure.
yeah. Anyway,
I don't know. My Breath of the Wild, I want to go back to it because I need to.
Just give it another shot.
Yeah, you play. No, maybe I will. But you play a lot of open world games. I guess my opinion on open world games is I usually like them. My general disposition towards them is I like to get lost in those worlds, providing they usually have a pretty good
strong narrative.
Strong narrative, yeah. Those types of games will always suck me in. Anything with like you said, a strong narrative. That's probably the biggest issue I'm having with Breath of the Wild right now. Is there's no story beats that are sucking me back in. I haven't really felt any. There's nothing dragging me along. The shrines are not enough to keep me coming back. Like I don't have a constant desire. Like I'm not sitting at work thinking, "Oh God, that cool new shrine."
Are you gonna try out Shadow of the Colossus when it comes out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll buy that game.
I'm curious how you like that game. I think, yeah. I guess I'll just leave it at that. But because there's definitely there's a line between like Horizon Zero Dawn, here's Zelda. I think Shadow is like in that middle spot. So I'm curious how you'll respond to that.
Yeah, probably pretty well. I don't know. I'm only about 20 hours in, and I hate to say that. Like
That's enough time.
Do I have to play longer to decide whether or not I like it? I don't know. Was the cooking ever compelling? No, I don't. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but it's probably because I'm playing it months and months after it was released, and I've missed that initial surge. Yeah, the buzz that was around it, the discovery, everyone going through talking about, oh, did you strap some fucking Octoroks to the thing, or like
Probably
I don't have any of that.
If us had a Switch too.
Yeah,
And just talk about.
Yeah.
maybe if we were all going through that together, maybe if we were having some type of shared experience.
Yeah.
But doing it alone, I don't know. Having no love for that character and having no love for that series, it's providing no want to go back to it.
Yeah. I mean, I know we all hate spoilers, but I think there is something to be said for when you or I or Kyle recommends something that we're excited about, and you're like, okay, if he likes it, there's got to be something deeper here that I have yet to discover.
Yeah.
Maybe you never did to it. Maybe you're like, well, it didn't hit me in the same way it did Alex, but you don't have that as far as I'm aware for the Switch.
And obviously, I'm on the wrong side of the table here. That game's winning just about everybody's game of the year. I don't understand.
Literally everyone's.
It's just winning all the games of the year. And I swear to God, I'm not just trying to be a dissenter like usual. I having never owned a Nintendo product before, I bought a Switch so I could play Zelda. Maybe that set the expectations too high. Maybe all the reviews set it too high. But I have no desire to go back to that game after playing for 20 hours. I don't want to cook. I don't want to have to do that combat anymore. Maybe it's because I was never good at it.
After 20 hours, that's rough.
Maybe it's because I was just good at it and it was never difficult. I don't know.
I wonder what upping the difficulty would do.
I beat a Lionel on the second try just because I wasn't expecting it. I don't know. Maybe is there more difficulties to up it?
I think so. There was an update that came out recently that was like master difficulty.
I definitely don't need that shit.
Yeah.
I think maybe I should set it lower because I don't want to do the combat at all because I don't find any of the enemies particularly.
I think at that point, though, then just don't play it.
Yeah, it's... Yeah. And maybe I haven't seen all the game has to offer. Maybe I haven't met the cool enemies, but the fucking bokoblins and the moblins, maybe they're different colors, but they don't...
You got joblins in
yeah. Bokoblins and moblins and... Lionels. The Lionels are pretty difficult. I'm not going to pretend that I'm some master gamer and can kick the shit out of them. But I don't know. Those two enemy types just haven't provided really any level of difficulty besides just being able to kill me in one shot if I ever take a hit. Is that fun? I don't think so. Whatever.
Well, I do know you have lied to us already in this podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Because that isn't all you've done this week. Because you have seen... A cinematic masterpiece. You have seen Jumanji.
Oh, incredible.
And boy, what a movie.
Fill us in.
Goddamn. So, Jumanji, it's a remake from the older movie that came out in like 1990.
Any actress in there we know?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, we have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Ooh.
Yeah, so pretty good.
What a man.
Kevin Hart.
What a also man.
yeah. Different sizes. Still a man, though. Yeah.
Jacob Black.
Jacob Black.
You're talking like
Jack
M&Ms
Black's
versus
cousin.
M&M minis. Wait, Jack Black's cousin is...
Yeah, Jacob Black. They look
He's
very
always
similar.
been my favorite of the blacks.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And shit.
I had all the Blacks.
The girl from
Except for one,
Doctor Who.
series.
Who's the Doctor Who redhead girl?
I don't fucking know.
She's in a bunch of other stuff. I'm sorry.
Rachel McAdams.
She's the
Definitely Rachel McAdams. Rachel McAdams is in
she's in the
Jumanji
movie.
2.
Yeah, Rachel McAdams.
Welcome to the jungle.
Who is also in Guardians of the Galaxy. She was the blue person. Yeah. So, also Doctor Who, apparently.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I really loved her in Mary Poppins.
Yeah. But anyway, Jumanji, watched it. Me and Cameron, I think, came in feeling pretty middling, just in general, about the
idea of going to see it.
Yeah, but the whole prospect of watching a new Jumanji movie. And I came out of that. What a delight. Just a fun dumb time.
Hell yeah. Nick Jonas or what? Joe Jonas or whoever,
I was delighted.
Whatever Jonas that was.
Spoilers, Nick Jonas shows up. And boy, what a delight. I really enjoyed him there.
Did you?
Yeah. When he popped up, I was very excited. Yeah, it's Nick Jonas.
He's here.
Yeah, very cool.
Does he play himself?
He plays a super cool guy.
He basically plays Joe Jonas.
who's known...
Or Nick Jonas.
For spoilers coming, who's known for piloting airplanes very well.
His name is Seaplane McAdams. Rachel McAdams.
It's such a great game. It's such a great movie. Like it's not a masterpiece by any means.
I'm excited to see.
But when it comes to summer blockbuster, like that's a dumb summer blockbuster. Like that's it hit
the
all
vein that you wanted to go into.
yeah, it hit it exactly the way I wanted it. Like, there was laughs. They weren't, like, super specific or, like, clever laughs, but they all worked. Funny guys who were just generally funny and enjoyable to watch.
Getting The Rock, Kevin Hart, and Jack Black together.
Jacob Black.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Jacob Black in a movie together would be a good time. Who'd have thunk it? I guess the Rock did.
Wait, wasn't Dwayne and Kevin in the Central Intelligence? Because that's a bad movie.
I didn't watch that movie.
That's a bad.
Well, they needed Jack Black to catalyze the reaction.
I guess there was an element missing to the secret recipe of a good movie.
Yeah, they needed to be put into a video game, which is how Jumanji updates itself from the previous Jumanji. Instead of it being...
alert.
Yeah, sorry. I already said spoilers. And instead of...
one of us doesn't have an option here.
Oh, this is the very beginning.
Okay.
So instead of using a board game as the conduit for crazy stuff happening, instead they all get sucked into a video game.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of jokes playing off how video games work in general, and what choosing a character means, and then becoming that character when you're... So there's, for instance, Jack Black's character in the real world is actually a girl. So Jack Black is basically playing a very
Valley Girl.
Flamboyant... I won't even say that.
Maybe not Valley Girl. Maybe that's
like a flamboyant gay dude who's supposed to be a girl, but I don't know, it just comes across a little bit like, I would have done that impression in like 1999. That worked.
He's also into Nick Jonas pretty hard.
Yeah, so you have a lot of like Jack Black hitting on Nick Jonas. It's just a good movie. It's a fun movie. If you're looking to kind of...
Just to be clear, not Jack Black, right?
Yeah, Jacob Black shit,
Jacob
sorry.
Black.
I keep doing that. They look so much alike. But yeah, if you're looking for a dumb, fun movie to just kind of turn off and have a few laughs, like, I highly recommend it.
And you get to see our new president, or our next president in action.
True.
Dwayne
He
Johnson.
does very well.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
presidential.
Yeah,
president.
very brave.
I wouldn't mind to see in his State of the Union.
If we have to go for another celebrity, he's my vote. I can tell you that right now.
I think he's America's vote.
That's so upsetting. Just the state of things. I just want to talk about Jumanji some more. I don't want him to run for president, because then we can't get Jumanji 2, which is inevitably going to happen.
Absolutely can.
That's going to be a weird movie if Jumanji 2 comes out.
Because he's the president. He has to go back into this game.
Instead of going to like Camp David, he's like, nah, 3 months, Jumanji 2. Hold down the fort.
Yeah.
Putin, chill. It's a good movie.
Putin's like, take your time.
Right.
You gotta go finish that Jumanji 2.
Send me autographed copy. Like, all right.
It's our only... from Tropic Thunder. We don't have any luxury. So Jumanji 2 will be our prime collection of movies.
I don't know. What did you think? I enjoyed it.
It was just came out of it, said, that was fun.
Yeah.
And stopped thinking about it kind of almost immediately.
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I like it so much is I see so many summer blockbusters nowadays who pack full of jokes, but they just don't fucking hit for me. Whereas like that, like... It's been a long time since I've seen a dumb summer blockbuster that did what it was supposed to do. Like, just be dumb, be enjoyable, and that's it. And there was actually, like, even as ham-fisted as there were like moments of, I wouldn't say tension, but moments that are supposed to be tension, downwards, upwards. Like, there's actually arcs going on throughout the entirety of the movie instead of spending like 5 minutes here and 5 minutes here.
Well, as someone who likes to pretend that they're an intellectual when it comes to comedy, like I've got some higher class of it.
Yeah.
I kind of was like, I guess I'm going to see Jumanji.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever. And I'm sitting there like, as much as I didn't, or as much as I was trying to scowl, all of a sudden, it kind of, you find yourself just busting out laughing.
Yeah.
Not quite as much as the lady to my right who was clapping just throughout the entire movie.
Shout out to movie clappers.
Yeah.
Because you're the real fucking heroes. I love a good movie clap.
That was also one thing, the vibe of the theater was very good.
Yeah, there was some electricity in the air.
Oh yeah.
If it was little kids or what, but there wasn't a ton of talking. Everyone was just kind of happy to be there. It was cool. It was cool to see it. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have liked it as much had I not seen it in the theater with everybody else. If it was just on,
I think absolutely.
If
that's definitely going on HBO for sure.
Or HBO, Netflix. Like, yeah, probably.
That's an HBO ass movie.
Probably skip that one.
Like a Sunday, you don't want to go to school tomorrow, and Jumanji 2 comes on. But yeah, for any kids watching that, I think that works as your Jumanji movie.
That's the working class movie, I think.
Yeah.
Of the summer.
that's
the blockbuster.
That's the most pretentious thing we've said. But yeah, sure.
I don't really know what that means, but I wanted to say it.
Goddamn California.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still just trying to shake that out of me.
I don't know. I embrace it. But moving on from Jumanji 2, I haven't played much games, but I've been watching a lot of stuff as I'm doing other things. So there's a documentary on, or a series of documentaries on Netflix that just came out. You may have heard of it, called Dirty Money.
Nope.
No, nothing?
Nope.
Well, the first episode is directed by Alex Gibney, which for anyone who knows me, I'm a huge fan of him. He's a great documentarian.
Guess I don't know Alex.
He's
Or
done.
Kyle.
Yeah, he's
Guess
done.
I don't know Alex.
Well, you're about to know. He's done documentaries such as Enron, Smartest Guys in the Room. So that's, of course, where I picked up on the series. So I started to watch it. And it's basically 6 documentaries about an hour, give or take 20 minutes, depending on which one you're watching. And they go over various sort of institutional scandals, why they happened, who was in charge of them, what was the fallout, and the effects from them. Super interesting. They touch on a lot of stuff you may have already heard in the news. So one was VW and how they lied about their diesel gas emissions. Yeah. That's the first one that Alex Gibney directs. Very good. Not as interesting as the other ones, which isn't to comment on that episode. It's just how good I think the series pulls off their episodes. So they start off with the VW one. They go into other things like they go to a payday loan company that was using a Native American tribe as a front, so they can kind of break the law a bit. And apparently, with having a Native American owning the company, state agencies cannot sue that company. Only federal governments can sue a Native American thing. Yeah, so that was them getting away with a few things. Thank you, Baird. Also, they touch on HSBC, which was a very popular scandal. I don't know if you remember that one. I do. That was where they were laundering money for drug cartels. Just laundering money for South American drug cartels. And they got slapped with a fine that took up 5 weeks of the profitability. That's all that happened. No arrests, nothing. Just, hey, 5 weeks of your revenue, we're going to fine you that much and call it a day.
Slight inconvenience.
Yeah, so that was just an incredible thing. And watching that again and seeing like the decisions behind like why they charge them that way, just it makes you lose faith in all humanity almost. They also go over the pharmaceutical companies post Martin Shkreli and just the artificial raising of drug prices. They go through a maple syrup price fixing scheme in Canada, which is super interesting. The catalyst of which, I guess, a group of guys stole a shitload of maple syrup in a truck, and it turns out it was valued at like $21 million.
Sticky bandits.
Yeah, exactly.
Maple syrup is worth more than petroleum,
apparently like 5 times as much or something. Yeah. But that news story surfaced, and the people are like, wait, why the fuck was maple syrup worth that much? And then it goes into, here's why this is worth that much, and sort of the effects of that, which was interesting. And then they go over Trump, which some people may roll their eyes at. I think left or right, you can probably agree, if you're seeing clearly, that Trump is a clown, just a dumb idiot clown who eats too much KFC. And it kind of goes into just sort of his career as he rises to prominence and like what actually can be contributed to him, what can't be contributed to him. It interviews a lot of his previous work associates, executives, people who won The Apprentice, people who made The Apprentice, just sort of everyone that's kind of been around him for the last
his sphere of influence.
20, 30 years. And it obviously doesn't paint a very fantastic picture of our current commander-in-chief.
No.
Yeah. Or I would say
I'm shocked.
I should modify that because people are going to be like, well, but I would say, instead of very good picture, a very competent picture of Mr. Trump. It doesn't paint.
How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you?
It paints him as sort of a lazy, not competent man.
Who directed this?
I thought he was a very stable genius. I heard that somewhere.
Yeah. It depends on the episode. The first one was Alex Gibney, but it's actually a variety of directors that touch on each one. I'm not sure.
Blacklisted.
Yeah, probably blacklisted, yeah. But it's a really interesting...
Definitely a B-list director.
Yeah, B-list director. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But interesting documentary. Like I said, 6 hours. Each covers a different topic. And one thing I really liked, a few of them, they sort of investigated different sides of the issue. So with the payday money lending scheme, the founder of that company, the actual founder, he has a ton of footage time during this documentary. So you really get to see sort of both halves, how one sort of justifies what he does. And then you see the effects of that justification, and also backwards, like when he's actually convicted for something, you get to see how that actually taxes his family. And then it just raises questions like, is this how the justice system is supposed to work? It makes it a bit deeper than it would have been otherwise. So yeah, that's Dirty Money. Also a great theme song. Can't play it here because copyright stuff, but highly recommend
Can you
it.
just sing it for us?
I think it's like lie, kill, steal, kill, and then it just repeats that over and over again.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. I really liked it. It's one of those things I haven't gone on the internet to download it, but if it's out there, I'm definitely gonna do.
Two things just while I'm thinking about it because you reminded me of it.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the two thieves in I think it was Germany? They stole I don't exactly remember what the figure is, but I'm gonna say $500 million worth of chocolate.
No shit.
Yeah,
I think I kind of remember that.
it was just a couple days ago or something. It was crazy.
Was it like a train?
Maybe it was
Sure it wasn't Bitcoin?
like
Because
maybe
I saw about
50
that.
million.
2 miles. Yeah, 2 mile long train.
No, they saw two trucks of chocolate, and they ended up catching both the guys.
With gold flakes inside? What do you mean $500 million?
Maybe
We need more details
maybe
out.
It was $5 million. There was some, but it was a
500
substantial
million?
amount of chocolate.
Okay.
My airplane minutes. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
look it up.
I was gonna mention that.
Maybe do you have it on?
I could look it up.
So I mean, it's not super important, but anyway, I just like to know that there's people out there making their money off stolen chocolate. And the other one was just bringing up Trump. I thought it was just kind of funny because you were joking about tongue twisters. Was it $500,000? How much
Yeah.
was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I knew there was a $500,000.
$500,000.
That's still a lot of chocolate.
It is a lot of chocolate, but it doesn't have the absurdity
500 million.
of $500 million worth of chocolate.
You start small, I guess. They weren't stealing the Wonka factory.
That's how do you unload $500,000?
They can't retire on this.
Maybe
this
that was
chocolate.
the diversion to actually steal the $500 million.
Their granddad who orchestrated the heist, back in my day, $500,000 of the chocolate could have lasted you a lifetime.
Yeah, it's like smuggling bars and pants into prisons and stuff.
The thing is, who's the fence for this deal?
They're melting down chocolate and shooting it into their veins.
That made me. I was just picturing melting down chocolate and making little pellets for the guns from the Patriot. I don't know why, but I just really like that idea.
Shooting that into your veins. Mel Gibson just pouring straight steel in his veins.
Loading the musket, whatever. And then
It's jammed.
Yeah,
It's just a shitload of chocolate in your gun. It's not good anymore.
It's actually Raisinets.
100% jam rate.
Flash forward to 1970 Vietnam War, just fucking Raisinets stuffed into the
you can find them in trees
M16s in Vietnam.
Yeah. The other one was you made a joke about LuLaRoe when we were warming up our voices before the podcast, and then so some LuLaRoe just backed one of their big sellers, one of their top dogs. Was selling merchandise online, and he essentially made fun of people with Down syndrome. He pretended he did a stereotypical inappropriate
ballsy play.
Are you gonna do that for us?
Yeah,
on camera?
Absolutely.
Are you gonna go for it?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Just speaking slow and heavy and acting like he was confused, and then in that cadence, you know what I'm talking about, and then
kind of a big move for a guy who makes stretchy pants.
Yeah. This guy is he's just moving the pants. Moving the pants. He's just a pants, mover and shaker. And anyway, LuLaRoe, he said he was sorry, and then they were like, LuLaRoe was like, "That's cool with us." Man, say sorry. But then anyway, there's a big deal about this. A lot of people are really upset about it. But then you just look back at Trump. Trump made fun of that one reporter, pre-campaign, or during his campaign. We're gonna hold this guy who slings LuLaRoe more accountable than the president of the United States. I'm excited to see it, but whatever.
You gotta give that to Trump. Hey, you did that. Yeah, I did. It's shit.
He doesn't own it.
I played my cards.
Yeah, he's like, and I was proud of it. I would do it again.
Besides Dirty Money, I also saw another documentary. I like to play documentaries as I'm doing other stuff.
Yeah.
For the most part, I've seen a lot of them, so it's easy to play in the background and not pay attention. Plus, it's not like a narrative. You can usually jump in and go, okay, that's what's happening. But there was another documentary I saw, which I've been wanting to see for a while, but it finally came on Netflix, called AlphaGo. If you haven't heard what AlphaGo is, it's documenting Google's DeepMind what do you call it, initiative, which is a subsection of Google, and all they do is work on AI, artificial intelligence, and that's it. And what they primarily do, at least for the last couple of years, is they'll pick out a game and train their AI on that game to beat everyone, including all the professional players out there.
Mm-hmm.
So in this documentary, they're training...
This is for chess?
No, actually, a game more complicated than chess, apparently.
Oh, is it like Crokinole or something?
That's called Go. For AlphaGo.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
Yeah.
I have heard of this.
Yeah, so it's a super fascinating documentary. It follows both the Google DeepMind people who are building up this AI, as well as the professional Go scene, which is a big board game primarily out of East Asia, South Korea, that sort of thing. And
Sorry, is this the one where they just give it the rules of the game and like no gameplay examples or whatever, and then it just starts losing, and then like within like a day, like it can beat most everybody?
I mean, that's definitely used for sure.
Yeah.
There's a term for it that I can't remember at the moment. But yeah, where it's sort of simulating games over and over and over again to kind of build sort of a basic logic of the game.
Yeah, because there wasn't one in the news that long ago that like within like 24 hours or something, it was able to beat everybody in the world. And it was like creating its own moves that no one had ever thought of before or some shit. It was like, okay, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, the last big one I heard was Dota 2. They had, which was from Elon Musk's AI division, was apparently beating all the pro players. But this one goes over Go, which again, big board game over in Southeast Asia. And it sort of all culminates into a showdown between the world's best Go player, which is this Korean guy. I forget his name. It's like Lee Simone, I want to say his name is, and DeepMind. And it goes through a route of 5 Go games. And just really fantastic and also very sad. Spoilers, if you haven't heard, he loses. So you have...
Robot.
Yeah, to the robot guy.
No, the robot loses.
Oh yeah, we won't go humans.
Yeah,
but it does feel like that. You're
Just a really sloppy cut.
Yeah,
it's like trying to piece the moves together. Like, oh look, and then the robot dies. The robot lost. He overheated.
He pours a glass of water on him.
Well, I won't give it all away in case you've seen it. It's in case you want to see it. But I
do want to see this actually.
It's super interesting. The way they build it out is really great because you're following these Google DeepMind guys, so you're really kind of pushing for them, like, yeah, let's build this badass AI. It's the next stage of human evolution. And then you see the effects as
dedicated his life.
And you see this guy he's obviously like an alpha type person. He's dedicated, like you said, his entire life to it. He lives, breathes, eats, Go, and he's obviously the best in the world. And you start quickly like, okay, fuck this DeepMind guy. I'm on Lee Simone's side. This is about humanity versus, and whether we have any utility. And granted, it's just a game, but it does have that sort of going like, okay, we build this thing, and then like, where does that leave us after we built this thing?
Was there a lot of Go jokes, like go big, go home?
Not really. No, they play it pretty serious. I'll say.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I like what you're saying, but as a culture, we're a culture of gamers. Like it's fun, you go as far back as you can. We've been doing this, and from what I understand, Go is this is where you move dots or something. It's like reversey, right?
It's like a grid game. I don't know exactly how it's played, but it's a big wooden grid, and there's a lot of black dots and white dots.
I thought it was pretty much reversey, but I don't know. It's a game we've been playing for hundreds and maybe thousands of years. And this robot came out and kind of trounced us in 3 years.
Yeah, it was a small amount of years.
It took like 3 years to figure out, okay, I'm better than you and all of this. And you start to carry that information over to, they took our jobs and, just all these other...
Well, it's even deeper than that because it's not just jobs. Because with this guy specifically, it's not just a normal job. It's not some guy who found a job at McDonald's.
They took our hobbies.
Well, it's like this thing took our meaning, like what we currently use to define ourselves. We have to change.
They took our self-worth.
Yeah, they did take our jobs. Like, cool. Like, no one in the world should have to like flip burgers anymore.
Yeah,
that can happen. Just like it kind of sucks for the person that really likes grilling. But we're gonna brush that aside for a second. Now you're talking that same probably like a similar or the same robot could also beat you at your favorite hobby in the world. So it's like. Just replaces us.
Like, it reminds me of this. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a sci-fi short story I read years back where you're in a future where AI is taking over everything to the point where it's actually illegal. Yeah, 2019, where it's actually illegal for humans to produce anything because there's flaws and there's danger in those flaws. So you follow this detective guy. This is who you're following, kind of like a Blade Runner almost setup, where he's cracking down on humans producing things. And then towards the end of the story, spoiler, they have a computer that now can do his job better than he can. So it brings to light those same exact sci-fi questions in a documentary. And I'm kind of painting it in sort of a totally depressing light. Watch AlphaGo. It has a nice ending to it. It's just really fascinating stuff, and definitely worth, I think, the hour and a half watch time. And it's on Netflix, so if you already have a Netflix subscription, go watch it.
AlphaGo?
Yeah. Other than that, I've also seen a few stand-up specials. If you are familiar with Tom Segura, you may not.
Yeah.
Okay, super funny guy. I watched his special Disgraceful. Not much to say other than that. If you're into Tom Segura, into Joe Rogan, that sort of crowd of people, fantastic. Really enjoyed it. I should watch his previous stand-ups because I haven't seen a lot of them. I've mostly listened to his podcasts that he does with his wife, which is also great. And I would highly recommend that. And last but not least, boys, as we speak right now, I'm making money, doing that passive income. Some would say maybe mining.
Woo. Wow.
Yeah. So background to this. Apparently, there's this thing called cryptocurrency. If you haven't heard, that's just blowing the tits off everyone and having people take out second mortgages. Well, a couple days ago, actually because of a Giant Bomb podcast, I looked.
Rory.
Yeah, with Rory mentoring, which Rory, he's a person on this Giant Bombcast. I looked up my graphics card price on eBay. This is a used card. It's not a top-of-the-line card, but it's a very good card. And I realized it's going used for over double of what I paid for it new. So that kind of put me in a pretty deep hole with the internet, just looking like, why the hell are graphic cards so much nowadays? Especially when I've written off Bitcoin mining a long time ago, which, to be honest, that's the right thing to do if you have a graphics card and you're mining Bitcoin. I don't know what the fuck you're doing except just making your electricity bill higher. But anyways, I wanted to see what they were doing, and I realized these guys are mining different coins. And then it got to me like, if so many people are doing this, how difficult is this process really? Turns out it takes fucking 5 minutes. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes. It's super easy, and then you're up and mining. So right now I'm making a cool maybe $3 a day, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's
That'll
pretty
add
good.
up. That'll up.
Yeah, I guess if you keep it going, I have a feeling it's not going to stay that way.
$1,000 a year.
I mean, that's enough to pay for your popcorn.
Yeah,
Once weekly.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
No, it's not.
$3 a day.
Oh, $3 a day. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I'm thinking $3 a week. No. But yeah, $3 a day could probably get you a soda and a popcorn for one movie. It's $14 at the Cobb.
Yeah. Not that we have been seeing a lot of
not
movies, and we know exactly how much they're robbing us for.
1408.
But yeah, I've been doing that, and this is an interesting thing. I'm definitely not going to start a mining farm because graphics cards are super expensive. And
Are you worried about running that thing out?
Not really. I ran it, so it's not running even close to max at all.
Yeah.
I did mess with the settings a little bit, but it's running at like 60 degrees Celsius. That's not going to do anything to it. So
yeah. But do you think I could make like $4 a day?
Probably
I have the tier up from you, right? So
yeah.
I could probably make at least $4.50.
What could you do with just good old manpower and a pickaxe? What do you think?
Fortunately, hopefully you can find gold. There's a lot of documentaries, a lot of shows on Animal Planet and Discovery Channel.
Don't forget History Channel, Gold
History
Rush.
Channel.
Oh, those guys are constantly fucking shit up.
Yeah, they're finding gold everywhere.
Are they finding gold? I always see them like, darn it, the mine run dry, and they're all out here. The one episode I've seen recently, I don't remember where we were at. I think we were in a hotel, and when you're in a hotel, you kind of fall into that shitty reality TV show hole at night. I don't know about that. Maybe it's just
on that Disney Channel flow.
Yeah. So they were like, "We're gonna reopen the old mine." It was like they closed the shit down 50 years ago for a reason.
Well, gold replenishes in the walls if you didn't know.
That's true. Yeah, if you just leave it there, you set it and forget it.
Yeah, because there's a half life, right? Mm-hmm. And it's elements slowly
and it doubles.
Yeah.
That was your gold lesson for today.
So that's been my week. Pretty much.
You had a good week.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It was a lot of like
Yeah.
passive shit. So just stuff in the background. Like I'm not actively mining. So it was, hey, click this button on a program, let it run for a bit, see if it's annoying or not.
Mhm.
So it's interesting. I would suggest try it just for the fuck of it.
It'd be fun just to see what it's doing.
It's just interesting.
Interesting to see what's happening. Not that $5 a day, $3 a day doesn't matter.
Yeah, no. And I'll say, and I have a feeling it's going to lessen because more people are jumping on it. And as more people jump onto mining, it becomes harder to mine.
Yeah.
And there seems to be no shortage of that. The one benefit, I now understand why graphics cards are so much. And I also understand why certain graphics cards are not worth a lot right now. So if you're wanting to buy cards with 2 gigabytes of video memory right now, I would say buy them right now because things are going to look good. Later this year, 3 gigabytes of video memory. You just got to wait. But sometime this year, they're going to drop hella in price and then pick those guys up. So now I kind of understand what's going on there. So that was interesting.
What does the 1070 have?
4, 8, 6,
8. Hell yeah! I think
8 or 6.
I was thinking 8.
Yeah, because mine has 6.
But okay, yeah, so probably 8.
Yeah, so that one's gonna be a while, I think, or it's gonna be a while until you hit the limit, which I think that's gonna take years. I think it's gonna be more some super badass video card's gonna come out.
Well, they're talking about, and this is just very limited knowledge, seeing some headlines, but talking about making dedicated cards to mine.
Well, they're already doing that, yeah.
Yeah.
There's and even for Bitcoin, like I said, video card. Like if you're mining with a video card, Bitcoin, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. But they have these things called ASICs.
That's what I saw.
So that's for something a little bit different. So that's also the weird thing we're getting into with different coins. There's different machines that are tailored
Mining
to different
rigs.
things. Yeah. So for instance, with a video card, the thing to mine right now. Shout out to my crypto people, Ethereum, and other coins like that. Shout out to my people, help me out there.
Shout out to those other coins.
Yeah, Ethereum.
These are Litecoins.
Litecoin, but not with your GPU. That's more of an ASIC thing.
Okay.
And there's specific ASIC machines that are
Does Ripple get mine?
I think maybe,
Okay.
possibly. I didn't see it pop up there, but that seems like it could be one of them. That's also the problem. Like even back when not everyone was jumping on them, there was 1,000 of these fucking things. Now there's like 100,000.
Kodak has one.
You can't fucking
Just in case you needed your photo currency.
Kodak. Samsung's actually going to build their own line of mining stuff now. They just announced that yesterday.
That's what I saw. That's exactly what it was.
So I have a feeling this shit's here to stay. If you took out your...
I
You don't think so?
I think that the end of I think AI and stuff is going to happen a lot quicker than fucking we get cryptocurrencies to take over it, like for people's spending habits. I don't know.
Really though,
I'm not saying it's going to take
I don't
over
think
soon.
cash
I'm saying
is
it's here to stay.
the end game. The problem is people already don't have any confidence in the current monetary the system.
I will say this. On the other... Thanks, Barry. On the other hand, though, it does seem like it's getting back to normal where people have lost so much money. Come here, Barry. You fucking irritating dog. It's going back to normal where enough people got screwed. Like mentioning dirty money, the whole thing that happened with, was it BitConnect or Bitfinex? The thing that promised 1% a day return, and then they just kind of ran away with $1 billion. So it seems like it's a bit more pessimistic out there. Like on Reddit, you can find like a lot of images that were used for celebrating the price hike. Now they've flipped it. So there was an image of Bitcoin going up on a roller coaster. Now they just flipped it so it's going down, and that's now
what is Bitcoin selling for right now?
It's around 10 grand. Like at last I checked, it was
It
like
just hit over 10 grand a day.
9.7.
So it's down like 7,000 from its peak.
I mean, you said, yeah,
9,000.
but if you look at any, like if they did invest like in the last month, that's the crazy thing about this whole thing. Things move so fucking fast. It's been less than 2 months since something called the fork happened, which was the big thing that I was paying attention to when I was in it. Now that seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, the forking thing.
And if you invested back then, you're still up like easy, a good 40-50%. If you took out your mortgage at $19,000, shit's pretty rough for you right now. I hope everything is okay.
Your mental stability.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think Bitcoin's rise is anywhere near over, but it's going to take some time. I think a lot of money kind of disappeared, and that's gonna hurt things.
Yeah, it hit the mainstream, and then the mainstream started seeing it creep down, and then they fucking yank that money back.
Panic sell.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it. There was a good week long period. It was just a fucking story a day. Like this exchange lost 500 million Bitcoins. Like the fuck did you do? Why'd you do that? And then the Bitfinex thing happened, and then I forget, like some country would go like, hey, we're not going to support this.
Yeah, South Korea is like, we're pulling cryptocurrency. Today, Amazon, was it Amazon? No, it was Facebook said they're removing any cryptocurrency ads.
Yeah, so that's another big thing. And then you have Twitter. It's just a whole lot of shit going on. That's not necessarily great.
I'm not convinced that people are smart enough for it yet.
Yeah,
I don't think it has practical uses yet.
Yeah, it doesn't, and I don't think that it's going to...
The transaction fees are super high.
Yeah.
It's actually less, but that's because people aren't using it. So it's actually not too bad at the moment, but it did drop 10K in value.
Was it called like Coinbase or something? Got hacked for like $570 million worth of
if Coinbase did
coins.
That would truly be that would be something to super pay attention to. Coinbase is like the biggest one right now, but there was one that got hacked for it was some other like Ripple or some dumb
500 million.
Also, all these people are super not original of their naming of their company. Like they all like try and squeeze coin into it, like however haphazardly they can, whatever it takes. Just if coin can fit in it, they're gonna slam her in there.
Yeah.
I think as it's always been, it's just a fucking weird thing that I'm interested to see where it goes. But it's just so fucking... So anyone who's buying 1,000 video cards right now to start up their own mining thing, like, I hope it works out. You got about 3-4 months to get your money back. That shit drops in value. Like, okay, good luck. Like, I'm going to buy your 1080 Ti's for $200. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, that's your mining 10 minutes. Do you want to take a break for right now? And then we can go into news?
I was going to say, I thought of one more thing. I started watching The Good Place.
What is that?
Kristen Bell. And Becker.
That's
all I got for you, man.
It's a show where Kristen Bell has died.
Okay.
And she goes to The Good Place. And
what made you start watching this? This looked like some ABC, like family garbage.
It's very popular right now.
Is it?
Yeah, ABC's pretty popular.
I like Kristen Bell.
I like Kristen Bell.
I'd say like I really liked what's it called?
Me and Scott had a big conversation on how I thought Kristen Bell was super hot and how she thought that she was nothing special.
You're not wrong.
I was like, Scott, you're such a bitch.
Caddy, that's the way we talk to our wives. No, and then
this is our chivalrous second.
Yeah,
Cameron.
No, we what's it called? Veronica Mars. I really love that show.
Okay.
I don't know. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay. I think that's a good show. It's very witty, very like well written, and so she's in it. It's very popular, and I was like, oh, it's on Netflix. Why not give it? I've watched like the first 6 episodes. Mm-hmm. It's entertaining. The premise.
I do have an answer for why not though, because you haven't finished Dark. I do have that answer for you.
How do you know I haven't finished Dark?
You didn't tell me. You didn't bring it to this podcast.
I don't have to tell you everything. Yeah. I haven't finished Dark.
That's the why not.
But anyway, the premise, you find it within like the first 2 minutes of the show. She's in the good place, which is, I think, it's equated to heaven.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that there might be some deeper stuff going on. I'm trying to probably overthink the show. Yeah. But anyway,
exercising those old Lost muscles.
Yeah. I never watched Lost.
Oh shit. Probably past its time at this point.
Yeah, I kind of have.
You can still go back to it.
I have the gist of what the reveal was. But anyway, she like everybody in heaven. There's actually a very like select group of people in heaven. Like you have to be almost like a perfect person to get up there. Like even if you are like a pretty good person, like take Cameron for example. Yeah, like Cameron wouldn't make it up there. Yeah, I wouldn't make it up there. Like just
you don't know if I'd make it up there.
Yeah, absolutely. You just said bitch. Anyway, you absolutely but so anyway, the punchline is somehow the system has malfunctioned. She's actually a super shitty person, and she somehow ended up in this utopian place. So she's trying to like swear all the time, but you can't swear in heaven. So like fucking changes to forking, like bitch changes to bench, something like that. So she's like just like it's kind of entertaining if you look at it from that aspect because of what she as an actor is having to say in a serious like fast flowing fashion. So I like Kristen Bell, like I said. So I'm good with it so far. I don't know if it's going places, but. It's a 20-minute show or whatever, 22-minute show, so it's not a huge time investment.
Sure. Dark episodes are like 44 or so.
Yeah, I just don't have that timeline around. Like I said, I got to build the Millwall squad.
I understand.
See, do you want to take a break or just go right into the news?
We can take a break.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we will take a break. Let's do the news.
Whew.
So we got a few topics here. I don't know, do any of you guys bring anything, or is it just me?
I brought my logos this time.
Okay, yeah, we can get to that.
Now that we have the full 3-member party here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally got everyone together.
People gave me shit about not bringing them last week. Now, 2 people just don't show up. So
Yeah.
now who's the slacker?
I mean, they were ghosts, as we previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, drawing stuff for them. Even though one did get his sketch out. But anyway, we got some news here from the last week. I tried to pull from various weird things. One of which, do you know John Carpenter?
Yeah, he's a carpenter.
The author.
Or director.
And director, yeah.
Yeah, director of famous horror movies. Rotten Tomatoes celebrated his 70th birthday as if he was dead. And he isn't. So I thought that was interesting. That's gotta hurt.
Like a goof or like...
No, they fucked up. For some reason, Rotten Tomatoes didn't know that John Carpenter was still alive.
Maybe they know something we don't.
Because it could be like a spooky birthday celebration.
I guess it doesn't seem like it. They had an interview later on with John Carpenter where they had to say sorry a few times because Carpenter was a little understandably pretty pissed about it.
Yeah.
See, but if he wasn't close to dead, then he wouldn't be upset, right? Like if someone's made a goof about me being dead, like thanks for your 25, I wouldn't be upset.
I guess it could be different if you're a celebrity or at least someone of note who's like you know.
What celebrity hasn't had a fake death?
Well,
are you a celebrity? Are you a celebrity if you haven't been fake murdered at some point in your career?
Probably not.
The Rock? I don't think he hasn't.
Well,
I bet he has.
He's immortal.
Only when he was in WWF, maybe.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon killed him. Something like that.
Yeah. But like, I think it's just annoying. Like, oh, is Tom Hanks really dead?
It's like asking, like, hey, what have you done lately? Have you done anything lately?
Yeah.
I think it's something
Might
like that.
as well be dead.
Yeah. You haven't done jack shit since that one thing. Yeah. So that was something interesting. I got not too much to say about that. Also, Nintendo Switch eclipsed the Wii U's lifetime sales 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's super surprising. I'm interested to see how long it's going to take for them to eclipse the Xbox One. I kind of had
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is because they've sold how many units? Xbox isn't releasing their numbers because they're little pussy ass bitches.
I mean, they did say they sold more in
I'd like Phil Spencer
than PS4.
Maybe,
but they should have. They came out with the Xbox One X. So if they didn't, that would have been.
It would have been real sad. Yeah. Real sad.
Yeah, there ain't shit on here.
Yeah, I think it's like 35 million. I think the PS4 is up to like 73, and then
something like that.
Yeah,
man, according to this, you're pretty on the ball. I'm sure Switch isn't totally updated, but it had Switch at the time in November around 10 million, Xbox around 35, and PS4 probably north of 70 million at that point.
Yeah. So, how long is it going to take for...
Pretty damn good overall.
For Nintendo to catch up to that. I don't know. It's the way that thing's selling right now, like hotcakes. I think people can't get enough of it.
It actually surprised me that number was only at 10 million.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure it's higher than that now. I'm sure it's probably like... I think Wii U did like 20 million.
Because that doesn't include Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see that actual number because it kind of made me feel a little bit sad for the ex-boners out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they just got to sit tight. I mean, you had like 2 or 3 executives over the last 2 weeks go like, hey, we know we're going to focus on making them games.
Yeah, but they should have been doing that 3 years ago. Whenever,
like, how did you lose sight of that?
Fuck.
Switch around 15 million.
Guys, was there something we were supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
They got this console.
Like, they're all sitting there. It's like they're in college. Like Phil Spencer's just got his feet kicked up on the desk, shooting paper balls into a wastebasket basketball hoop. Just
and then he stops.
It's just like scale bound. He crumples up scale bound, like tosses it in, like dinks off the rim. He hits a vape.
But he pretends it's a swoosh anyway.
Yeah, he's like
nailed it.
He's Kobe.
Yeah. That's one thing. Like, how bad did Scalebound look for them to look at their calendar and go like, we ain't releasing that?
Yeah,
not this year.
Yeah, how bad did it have to be for them to choose to release nothing?
What are we going to replace with? Nothing.
More Cuphead hype.
Yeah.
You know what they actually said? They said we're gonna replace it with Crackdown 3 fake announcement or fake release date is what we're actually gonna just slot in there.
They went back to their one studio. Can we do 2 Forzas? Can we just have another Forza?
Forza 2018.5.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
There's a $60 season pass of Forza.
Yeah.
Forza Horizons.
Yeah.
Zero Horizons.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Xbox, if you want to get in on this Forza content.
Xbox, that's a terrible idea. No one needs
Just take all your games, split them in half. Now you got 2 games.
Yeah, like half the track is on the first disc, then you got to buy the second disc to finish your race.
Do you sell it as or is this like you make the first half of the game and then promise to release the second half of the game later?
No, I think you go Crackdown 3, Crackdown 4. You just lie. You lie. This is the Hail Mary that's going to get you in trouble.
Pre-order passes, you just buy it all at the same time and just promise eventually they'll get their content.
It'll be like they can start using like the Kentucky Route Zero model of releasing the first 3 episodes and like really wetting everybody's whistle and then not doing jack shit for like
8 years.
Yeah, it's been at least 2 years.
I want to say it's fully out now, right?
I don't think so. The final episode is supposed to release in 2018.
No,
I do not think it
way.
has. The first time I remember hearing about that, it would probably had to be 2014, 2015.
Good God, you're right.
Yeah. It's been 4 years since they released that first episode. It was supposed to be out within the year.
7 years.
7 years?
7 years.
7 damn years.
I did my waiting. 7 years of it.
And that first trailer had me sold so hard. And
what is this? I'm sorry.
It's something you have to watch. You haven't been on the pain train with me and Kyle, so you can't get involved now. I'm sorry.
It's an indie game that had a shitload of hype for good reason, and then just a glacial release schedule. Yeah. Which I think they're all working, right?
Yeah, they actually have jobs, and they just get to it when they get to it. So you can't really hold it against them.
Yeah.
The only hard part about that is that it's episodic, and a lot of people bought the season pass quite a few years ago.
Well, it's one of those things like we got to, what was it called? Last Guardian, where you're looking like, since you've been announced, the entire Uncharted franchise has begun and ended. Like you start looking like 4 games in this series, 4 games in that series, 4 games in that series. You're still working on this one game. I don't understand what happened.
It's one of those things you'd love to get inside that studio and then be like, oh no, another console's coming out.
Oh yeah.
Like there's another new one.
I don't think we've had one of those stories yet. I'm trying to think back where they've gone back and like, this shit was fucked for like 8 years. Like one on Duke Nukem Forever would have been amazing. Any fucking Final Fantasy ever that came out pretty much.
But that's why would they? It's not like
they did one on Final Fantasy 14. So maybe Square Enix would be open to it.
Maybe.
Final Fantasy 15 took about 10 years. It was Final Fantasy versus 13 when it first was announced.
I honestly don't understand anything about Final Fantasy. I'd have no clue what goes on in that universe. How have they made it 15? I thought didn't 7 release in like 96?
Well, in the original Final Fantasies, the Final Fantasy was always number 20. The story builds up to Final Fantasy 20, at which point the fantasy ends in
It becomes real life.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like one of those you wake up and you realize the characters were in a coma the whole time.
Oh, so in the same hospital room, like dreaming.
I think that was the point of it.
I think you got close. Yeah, I've heard a rumor
because Cloud is like he's actually just it's a rainy day outside and someone's talking about the clouds in the room.
I heard a rumor that the underground story that SquareSoft, as they were called back then, called it Final Fantasy. Because they were so close to insolvency, this was their last sort of Hail Mary game. So they called it the Final Fantasy. And then it turned out it made them a bunch of money. That's just a rumor, though. I think your 20 game thing is probably more correct if I had to look back on it.
What about, when does Final Fantasy just turn into like a porn website?
You can guarantee there's Final Fantasy porn.
No, it definitely.
For sure,
I'm sure it exists, but why don't they just put all their eggs in that basket?
Sorry, Alex, this is saturated content. We can't get into this.
I think there's enough people putting all their eggs in one basket.
Another podcast.
Yeah, you're right. Those motherfuckers. But I mean, to answer your question, if you're actually interested, they're each different stories. I'm sure you knew that, like in completely different worlds.
I know there's like a duck you can run around on.
Yeah,
it's like Big Bird.
They carry over things from universe to universe.
Some Final Fantasy fan is fucking livid right now listening to this. They're yanking out their earbuds. They're fucking like,
no, there's not.
There's going to be in the future. In the future, when we
start checking out their backlog,
Final Fantasy VIII is better than Final Fantasy VII. Like, now they're mad.
Yeah.
They're very pissed. I don't mean that. They're very pissed though.
Sephiroth is a bitch.
Yeah. Go Squall.
Wait,
Have either of y'all played a Final Fantasy? Yeah. Have you?
No, I only played Kingdom Hearts, and I only have a couple of characters.
You kind of played a Final Fantasy a little bit. Yeah. I played Final Fantasy X almost pretty much like 99% completion 3 times. So I'm not exactly sure what happens at the very end. But I played that Final Fantasy. I played Final Fantasy X too, which was like a dress-up simulator of the game for 30 hours. But it was pretty fun, but it was weird. And I played a little bit of Final Fantasy 12. And Final Fantasy
Where did 11 go?
11 was an MMO. That was the first MMO, yeah. And that came out on PS2.
What happened in 13 came out? It was a real game, right?
Oh, yeah, I did play all Final Fantasy.
I remember
13.
you playing 13.
Yeah. It's just fucking, it's like sponged from my memory. I did play all...
It was like a 30-hour tutorial, right?
Yeah, that was the least of its fucking problems, honestly. Just somehow achieving... Like, I spent all this time with the characters and just felt fucking nothing. Just 80 hours of just, like... Until the very, like, final 5 minutes, I was like, the fuck is going on? And then it ended. Yeah. And that was Final Fantasy 13. And then they came out with 13.2 and 13.3. But after what happened...
How does that work? I don't understand.
I played the games. I remember seeing the trailer to Final Fantasy 13.2 and like, the fuck is going on? None of this shit makes any sense. Like, I would say maybe we should try, at some long point, maybe try to play those games.
No way. They take too long.
Well, you don't have to play it, you'll watch, because it's just so fucking baffling. The story makes no goddamn sense. Like, at the end of Final Fantasy 13, like, it was extremely confusing. I'm still not sure what the fuck happened. And then it seems like, you know what, those last 5 minutes? Let's make 2 other games, but way more fucking confusing. So, I don't know.
Within those 5 minutes, like, all the action happens, or is it... Like,
I mean, things happen.
Like, simultaneous story arcs.
Like, the game's already kind of confusing because maybe they didn't have a good translation team, but there's things like called Foul C, Pole C, La C. So imagine jumping into a game and you have those 3 weird words already jumping at you with no context. Like, the fuck is that? They all sound the same. I'm confused already. Yeah. And, like, they just don't do a good job of explaining everything, but you kind of get the hang of the basics. And then the last 5 minutes, they just throw a whole bunch of new shit at you and you're just like... Yeah. What happened? Like, I don't understand. They turn into like a flaming tiger. They've never done that before.
That's the animal you're thinking of.
and then they turn into a big crystal, and I'm confused. Just all confused.
I actually do. Before we get to another news article, if we want to address this question I have, what's the most confused you've ever been playing a game? Like, is that yours?
That was up there.
Like, is there anything that really sticks out for you? I have one
that comes off. If y'all could say something, maybe give me a moment to...
talking in general or narratively?
Well, I'll give my example, and then you can take from it what you will. I don't play that many games, so some people will probably laugh at this, but Kingdom Hearts 2, it starts on Roxas instead of Sora. And, like... For me, it was the equivalent of, like, reading, like, if there was an 8th Harry Potter book, starting to read the 8th Harry Potter, but it's talking about, like Jerry the Wizard instead of Harry, and you're like, who the fuck cares about Jerry? I'm invested in this other character. Like, where did this guy come from? And then you're trying to tell me, like, that he's, like, Sora's, like, I don't even know what he is still. He's, like, his opposite.
He's some, like, badass in all black. I kind of remember the trailers to Kingdom Hearts 2, and that's why I didn't buy it.
There's characters in black, but that's because, like, in Japan, they released, like, 3 other Kingdom Hearts that just didn't make it mainstream in the USA. And it's like, and they weren't on the consoles, they were on, like, different handheld gaming devices and stuff. And
352x4 or whatever.
Yeah, like, you're fucking doing math over there to solve the riddles. Yeah. And I'm still over here replaying Kingdom Hearts 1, just waiting for 2. 2 comes out, and I'm just like, how did we get to this white room? And where the fuck is Sora and Goofy and Dom? Like, I saved them. I've been closing doors and worlds and shit. Like, give me some goddamn answers. Instead, I had to beat this. Like, I have, like, this little purple sword. And I like, where's my fucking Keyblade? Yeah. Like, I fucking did all that work and I get fucking just take it away with no explanation. That was my most confused moment.
I think the Japanese... we're talking generalities here, but like
much deeper culture.
Because Kingdom Hearts, I played the first one again, like 99% of, I think twice. Yeah. I didn't actually get to the end.
Yeah,
I played up until the very end. You remember the big pirate ship thing that you fight near the very end?
Yeah,
that's where I stopped each time. I stopped there for some reason.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, anyways, like I remember playing that. It's a pretty straightforward story for the most part. You're trying to kill the darkness. That's it. Yeah. And then I remember seeing the trailer for the second one going like very much like the end of Final Fantasy 13. Like, what is happening? I don't understand. Yeah. I don't recognize any of these guys. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah. And then you get the 352x4 or whatever chain of memories.
I'm sure there's people like in my youth when I played that game, I did not have the patience to read through Ansem's like fucking Notebook of Darkness and like there's like pages and pages of like this like backstory like kind of a narrative that gives you the whole scope of what's going on, and I'm just like click go through it because I want to get back to smashing some Heartless with my Keyblade that I just got. I don't give a fuck about pages 4, 5, and 6 of this diary. Like also I still feel that way. I'll double down on that.
Now I'm with you. I'm sure you got an answer too, but just to touch on what you just said, I fucking hate that trend in games where there's like Halo 4, I think was one where I was definitely confused, not my most confused, because I left all this fiction and shit in their books. So I'm playing this game and I'm supposed to know who these fuckers are, but they haven't made any attempt to explain because like, oh, it's on the extended universe books. Like, no, you sold me this game. Do a good job with your narrative in the game. Explain to me what the fuck's happening, not giving me a trilogy of books to read so I can understand this game.
Yeah. And use the books to support the story.
Supplement.
In the main medium.
I might take it one step further, and this probably you guys won't agree with, but just for instance, Gone Home, when Cameron watched me play it, like some of the notes that were like in handwriting that were longer, I skimmed through them. I was looking for keywords or like, but I didn't like read all of them, and then I would exit out, and Cameron was like, "Did you read that?" Like. He's either checking out, you're either a really fucking fast reader.
Yeah, the first few letters, I was like, God damn, what is his words per minute? Like
speed reader.
I'm over here like trying to. I'm sweating myself. I'm like, am I dumb? Am I a dummy? Yeah. I finally asked, like, dude, are you reading all this?
I was like,
he said no. I said you should go back because those are important.
Yeah, but the ones that they had the girl talk over it was essentially reading the note.
It was a journal.
It was the journal. I'm very into that. Like, if they could have just given, like, read it in, like, the person's... Maybe. First of all, I don't like the cursive. Like, I hate fucking trying to decipher.
I loved that.
I hate trying to decipher.
That doesn't bother me at all.
It's written on some weird piece of parchment that totally would have came from the 90s. That would have been on a notepad that your grandma would have had with a shitty, like, Pizza Hut... magnet like took up there, and you rip that off and write your note on it and stick it in the mail because you actually got a letter because you can't send emails because you don't know how to work a fucking computer. I don't know, that whole that part of it like was served to be more immersive for me.
Like, well, I think for me, like let's just say in this game that there was a letter from grandma. Like, I don't know what grandma sounds like. I don't know what she looks like. Like, I would prefer like a little bit of inkling into like what this like. What the context... It's like reading a text from someone that you don't know. Like, how do you just...
I would say more like reading a book, where you kind of project your own... based on what you're reading.
I don't mind it. Like, and if there's one, maybe 2 letters like that, but in that game there was several, and it's not that I disliked the letters, and I actually liked reading once, like, I actually started reading them, like, start to finish, but if they would have had the voiceover accompanying it, I think that would have even brought me into the world further, like the journal.
But to me, it sounds almost like you were playing it like a game, like a standard video game, like looking for keywords.
No, that's also really, because
you should have been looking at it as a.
I also started it
simulator.
Yeah, I also started it thinking it was a different game. Yeah. So I think that also influenced.
He thought it was Hello Neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's a much different game.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, when I played Gone Home, it was all about just being immersed in the space. So anything that was there to interact with, I did to the fullest ability.
That was my first game style like that too. So
yeah, I can see it. I think that was my first one of that.
Yeah, there's a certain willingness for myself to just like let that shit wash over me, rather than like Did you ever play Dear Esther?
No,
I don't think there's a single word in that game. It's just all visual. But it's a similar thing. That one you could probably call it a walking simulator. I might be okay with it. But
So didn't that studio go on to make something else?
they might have. They might have done the Rapture game.
I think so.
Gone to the Rapture. It seemed like
because that was like one of the first ones. Was
It
Dear
was,
Esther,
yeah.
if not before Gone Home.
Oh yeah, it was definitely before Gone Home.
What's the fire game that I'm playing?
Firewatch that you're not playing. You're just kind of
Okay, the one that I want to play, and that I started playing, for me, to go back to that game, I think you probably saw a similar trend. Where there's like the handwritten notes inside the supply drops. I'll read those relatively quickly, but then you have the walkie-talkie conversations that I very much get into. Like as long as I see the little thing, the notification that I can do it, I really like. Responding, like choosing the way I want to respond. And then a lot of times the dialogue has something added in it. Like you say like, you pick no, and then it's like, hell no, like I'm not going to do that. And the character adds something itself, which I really enjoy.
Okay, I mean, it's more, just to begin with, it's more visceral for sure.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of authorship that's given to you. So I get that. I will say for Firewatch, I would almost say more than Gone Home in some ways, reading those notes are more important. Because the VO does less to explain what's in those notes, I think. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that I think you would miss relative to Gone Home even.
Yeah,
which is
it's very possible that I might miss it because...
I think there's big points in Gone Home that you'd miss by not reading.
True,
like
but...
Big story beats that would go away. I haven't seen anything in the notes in Firewatch that have been anything more so far.
Yeah,
the ones that he's seen.
Well, I guess here's what I mean more so. Like Gone Home, like there's definitely big stuff and there's a lot of like...
But there's also visuals in the game to go with those.
Yeah, well, Gone Home, it messes with your expectations and all that other cool shit. But it's ultimately supporting like a single narrative. Whereas Firewatch does a lot of sort of like branching off stuff that I feel you probably wouldn't quite notice or understand the full context of it. It's a little bit more disparate in terms of what those notes go over, as opposed to Gone Home, where it's all sort of this central theme of this family.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
We don't have to laminate on it any further.
That was good shit.
Yeah, I'll overall just say I really enjoyed those games so far, but there's something about. I guess also a good side note for me is I'm very much like a more auditory listener or a learner. If I hear something, if I hear someone say something, I can remember it. Like, you were saying the other day, like you have a mind for quoting movies. Like if I hear something that I think sounds cool, or even I just hear it, I can remember that shit for a long, long time.
I don't have that.
But if I read it and I'm not engaged in it like fully, it just goes right out the other year.
I sometimes have that. Me, I think I'm more LinkedIn or something.
Yeah.
Here's this person. I worked with that guy who did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe making those connections. I think we're all learning things about ourselves. Like Alex learned he's a auditory learner. I learned that I struggle with watching other people play games when they're doing it bad.
I think that's an everyone thing.
Yeah.
You just learn to
I'm
deal
watching
with
Alex.
it.
I'm like, Alex, are you sure you're reading the fucking notes, Alex? Alex, you missed the walkie-talkie beat, Alex. Alex, there's shit over there. Go look at it, Alex.
I really like that.
Do you see
in
myself
real
trying
life,
to restrain myself? Like, fucking,
I definitely know you do.
like pointing, like, turn around.
I think you need to go over there, you fuck.
Yes. There's an entire cabin you just walked past. It was burnt out. Dude, go check it out, man.
And then part of me, the funny part is, like in real life, obviously I would probably go over that. But in the video game, I'm just like, yeah, I don't really have to go see that. But
we're so opposite, Alex. I'm sorry.
And then I
have to know everything.
I really love that. Even for an instance, I maybe made you doubt your reading capabilities. Like, this guy's just smarter.
He's just burning it up.
He's the fastest reader I've ever seen.
Well, Skylar's like that. She can read a lot faster than I can.
Yeah,
like, way faster than I can.
Like,
so we'll be doing a game.
Yeah,
and she'll be like, next page, and I'm like, can you give me a second?
Give me a second.
Could you give me a second?
Yeah.
She's like, go on, excuse you.
Trying to make excuses. I'm trying to think about what they say.
Yeah, and I'm trying to absorb it all, Skylar. Meanwhile, I'm on the second paragraph of 4. Like, how did you get down there? I'm making excuses like,
you take it longer because you're like, fuck.
I'm saying things like, oh, I got distracted. Let me get back to it real quick.
like for instance, Abby, my younger sister Abby, just to give her, like, maybe me and you are about on the same, like,
I think we probably are.
for Abby though, like just Harry Potter books, for example, I read them all like as they came out, like in the day. So like 7th book comes out, I read it that day. Because I don't want spoilers. I always read it like start to finish, minor drink interruptions or bathroom break, whatever.
Especially towards the end of the series, that's a smart move for sure.
Yeah, but like, and Abby would also read them the same day. But if I finished the book in 11 hours, she probably would have finished it in 8 or something. Like she's like for like the first probably like 50 pages, I would.
And does she comprehend? That's what I always wonder about those people. It's
I
like,
do think
are they
that
just
I remember
fucking
more than her.
exactly? Yeah,
but she does read everything. She'd be able to tell you
the words. Does that count?
I think it does because she would be able to tell you all the minor points. I might be able, or the major points. I might be able to tell you some of the more minute details, but that also might have just been my perception. She's probably, honestly, Abby's way fucking smarter than me.
Yeah, Skylar remembers way more shit than I do about everything. Yeah. Like when it comes to books, like she has or things that I said years ago, like that are still getting me in trouble. Like she's like, "What do you remember what you said on this day?" My God, damn.
February 16th, 1990.
Yeah.
I think she probably comprehends it. I don't know.
I think Skylar does for sure.
It's tough without me comparing because I read a lot. I try to always read something.
Us two imbeciles over here, like I don't read anything. We look at picture books.
Yeah.
And I feel like I actually take my time, but I'm not sure if if we read the same book at the same time, how I would time out versus you.
Yeah. It'd be faster for sure for me.
the red, the red fox
jumped over.
It's a red fox, you fucking idiot! Come on, man.
What is this word called?
What about you for confusing games? I don't know if you had any off the top of the head.
Off the top of the dome.
Yeah.
The only one I was sitting here trying to think of something that's kind of a tough question to answer. Just like, hey, when was the last time you got real confused in a game and didn't just quit? Like, if it was the point where it was absurdity. If you know,
I guess more story based than if you.
Because Xbox 360 just littered with fucking like, where do I go?
Yeah. You talk about adventure games. Like, I can tell you the last time I quit a game because I didn't know what to fucking do. It was Grim Fandango when it got remastered. I made it. I didn't even make it hardly into the game. I made it outside of the hotel. Some guy blew me some balloon animals up, and I just was I might have beaten that part there, but soon after there came a point where I had no fucking clue what to do.
Especially back then.
Yeah.
There's games made by Tim Schafer and I'm sure similar publishers at the time, like where people had like papers out and they were trying to like draw diagrams and shit like that to solve those puzzles.
And that was cool back then.
Now it does not play.
No. People get real frustrated. So most confused, or at least maybe baffled or dumbstruck, I was playing... it had to come from one of the Souls games because those things get weird. I think it was, you get pieces of an umbilical cord in Bloodborne, and you're looking at it like, what the fuck is this? And you of course you Google it because you don't need to solve this mystery yourself. Yeah. But if you go back and you eat all three pieces right before you end the game, then you get to fight another boss to get the real final ending. Like,
that's cool.
Yeah, and that's something. Who solved that mystery? Yeah. How did they figure that shit out? I don't know.
That game's littered with that shit.
Yeah, and so are the Souls games. So the most recent one I just said I was playing Dark Souls 3. I climbed up to an area that's not readily accessible. I had made a couple jumps on some buildings, ended up inside of another building, and climbed up to into the rafters in kind of the main hub world. Yeah. And I climbed up there, and all of a sudden a voice comes across the speakers, and I'm just like, stop moving. Like, what's going on here? And it just starts speaking gibberish. It's just like, me, pickle pea. And it just gets real weird. And then it goes away, and it doesn't come back, and it's not explained, and you're just sitting there like, what the fuck was that? And then you realize, like, okay, that's what these games are. I'll just move on now. I'll proceed.
Yeah. While you were saying that, it just made me think of Borderlands 2. And there's one part that you jump down into this campsite, and if you do it, one of two voices will happen. It'll either be Handsome Jack or Claptrap, depending on your luck. and it's the double rainbow Easter egg.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then it's just Claptrap. Like, what does it mean? Like,
Well, you actually don't have to go there, right? It's you fall down out of an area, and if you proceed left past a waterfall, you will then see the double rainbow. So you don't actually even have to get that cutscene.
okay, so yeah, it's just like, it's funny to me, like, some of those things, I like when I'm playing it, I'm just like, who figured this out first? Like there's the one, if you, like, the ring Easter egg from Borderlands 2. Do you know about that one?
Maybe.
It's
say
fucking
what
incredible.
it is. You know,
So if you go back to Claptrap's place at the very beginning, there's a fireplace in there. There's the ring. The one ring is in the fireplace. No. You can pick it up, and you have to travel by foot to the very end of the game to the land with the volcano, and you can actually jump across to this land that was not accessible at the time. And then there's this character near the volcano that will steal the ring from you. And if you die at any point during this, the ring goes back to the other. Or if you do fast travel, the ring goes back to the beginning. So you have to do it all by foot.
Did you do it?
I haven't done it. I watched the video because I think it takes like 30, 40 minutes to do because of all the walking you have to do. I don't remember if you're allowed to use vehicles or not. Yeah, we should look it up after this. Yeah. It's really great. But if you do it, 3 of the big like pterodactyl sort of birds carry in 3 chests and they drop them off for you. But yeah, I think the guy steals the ring and then you hit him with your ratchet or whatever, and he falls into the fire or something.
That's
like
super cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's a really cool. But I'm also
but there's logic to that. There's logic to that. There is no logic to eating 3 pieces of umbilical cord and all of a sudden you get a final moon boss.
I don't know. I kind of disagree though. Like, because first of all, who
you didn't see this moon boss?
Yeah, well, but who went and looked in the fireplace first? And then saw the ring, and they're like, "I bet if I go throw this in the volcano."
If you had seen the ring, if it was named something like the One Ring, I can see that gets pieced together a lot quicker than the shit that goes down in Dark Souls.
I would agree, but to me, I was just thinking like Easter egg is such a misnomer. Easter eggs are.
Let's get that from Baird.
Some squeakies. Like,
we'll just keep this.
Easter eggs are very blatant things you put out for kids, and they're like, oh, there's an Easter egg right on this towel or in this blade of grass or whatever. Like, these aren't. There's got to be a better name for these things that are like they're secret content given to you by the creators, but they're not. The Easter egg to me just doesn't work. Like, it's not.
Well, they're hidden. I don't know. Maybe your parents didn't challenge you as a child, but my Easter eggs were definitely hidden pretty hard. Especially the one with like the $5 in it. You know.
Ooh, yeah.
You got $5. You
got that $5 golden egg.
We can't talk about Easter, man. I have bad memories. Oh, did you? I told you, right?
No.
It's something I think about easily about once a month or so, since I was like a young kid.
I am interested.
There was a neighborhood Easter egg hunt, and
I do know.
Yeah, it's fucking. I'm feeling it right now.
Good for you.
And you know, I can get pretty competitive. So especially young, like 5-6-year-old Kyle, he's a fucking menace. Like he's out for the kill. So I'm running around picking up eggs, definitely doing way better than anyone else. And there's this girl who I guess wasn't doing that well, or maybe this is just what I've said to myself to make me feel worse about it. And she runs to her parents with her basket, and her dad goes like, "Oh, wait a second, I think there's something here." And he's moving this outline of an leg or an egg down his pants, and it pops out the end onto the ground. And I run by and snatch it up. And put it in my basket. It keep going to get more eggs. Like I didn't treat it as anything. It wasn't until years later I realized what I did, and it's been hurting me ever since. I'm so sorry to that girl. I wish I could take it back.
If you have a public platform.
She was a fan until this very second.
Yeah, God.
She realized it was you.
Yeah. Message me. I'll make it up to you somehow.
Do you remember what the egg had in it, or was it just another one?
No, that's even the worst.
Just another
it went into a basket filled with eggs.
It was going to be a prized possession for her. And you you lost it in the sea of eggs that you had in your basket. you just didn't even care.
There's a parable here.
And also what kills me is like, what did the dad say
Aesop
after
fable.
That? Yeah. The dad had.
He probably had another one up his pant leg. He's like,
fucking hope so.
He was like, well, that guy's a douche, but what's this?
Just in case.
What I imagine is him going, well, and then it hurts. It hurts to think about so much.
That was my like they were probably like real poor or something.
This is their last egg.
Like a little treat.
This was the family heirloom egg. They've been passing this egg down for
grandma's egg from World War II.
Yeah. It's been nearly 20 years of this shit in my head. I ran through all the scenarios.
She brought it over on the ship when she came from...
Yeah. They made very good plastic eggs back then, I guess. Because I'm pretty sure it looked brand new. If it looked weird, I think I would have.
To you.
Yeah. I don't think it was anything super special. I don't remember getting like $1 that year.
Bastard. Nothing super special.
Not to me. To her.
To her, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Conceited.
Yeah. I don't have anything like that, I don't think.
I've never done anything that bad.
The closest, nothing that despicable. The only thing I could think of that almost comes close, or actually nowhere near the awful thing that you did, but I was at a soccer game at UF, and they threw out T-shirts for goals or whatever, and this is my senior year, I've been trying to catch one of these damn shirts for 4 years, and which is, I was always at the games, and I was trying to get this.
You put in the work, is what
I definitely put in the man hours and the work. I was, and I sat in the right section to catch a shirt. They were just always like on either side. One of my friends caught a shirt that was right next to me once.
Didn't give it to you?
No, I mean he wanted a shirt too, so I can't. So. That was Drew Miller, so
okay.
I can't say anything bad about Drew. But he, anyway, I finally. They also put a gift card in one of the. Actually, I kind of feel right about this now that I think about it more. But they put a gift card in one of the shirts, and they
feel
throw
vindicated.
Out.
Good,
because the soccer player throws it out. I kind of tip it in midair because it was gonna go over my head, but I jumped, with all my might. I got a fingertip to it, and it comes down.
Inches vert.
Yeah, a couple inches vert, and it comes down between me and this lady, and she starts to go for it like fucking animal, and
she's the animal.
Yeah. I grabbed this shirt and I pulled it in, and I have it tucked in like I'm cradling this football now. Like I'm holding.
Is she still ripping at it?
No, she's
given up. Okay.
She pretty much like reached for it, like you reach for anything, and she just didn't get to it because I was like fucking greased lightning, just like in and out, and
go greased lightning.
Yeah, and she
it's a new nickname,
but she was like. That was for me. Like she said it, like because if I wouldn't have tipped it, it was definitely going to her. And I found out later that she was actually being thrown the shirt with the gift card in it, like it was fucking rigged. Like the system was rigged, and I disrupted it. So in a way,
how did you find this out?
And
how did you not expose this until now?
Because it
should have been your social duty.
Yeah, it was.
This has been going on for years.
It was
This is worse than MSU.
Yeah.
This is
oh god.
Nassar got nothing on this.
It's like a really exhausting money laundering scheme.
Yeah, $5 gift cards. No, I think it was.
That was for me.
It was one of the soccer players throwing it to her like mom or something. Like there was like because I sat in a section where parents sometimes frequented.
That's a word.
Yeah, you're on there. Yeah, you're on the track
around there. But anyway. That I did feel a little bit bad about because, like, oh man, she had a chance to catch a shirt from her daughter at the game. Like, I don't know how often she comes to these games, but the fact that it had the gift card in it, fuck no.
Yeah.
Also, you guys trying to go get a sandwich from? I think it was like Jason's Deli or something. Like, get the fuck.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
that shit don't fly. This is the no-fly zone.
That's on them, I think. Yeah. Dumb plan. Just hand it to your mom.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I was actually the hero of that story, whereas you were the villain like yours. So.
Oh, maybe she grew up to be a murderer. I don't know that I'm still... I caused
you started it.
Fucking, maybe she was a hero. That's what she needed to get her act together.
Yeah.
At 4 or whatever she was. She was smaller than me. I knew I could take her. That's why I went in for the kill.
I don't have any of those.
How long did you see this happening? Were you just running by... Or were you fucking prowling for this thing? Like you saw it, like come, like you saw it.
The way you described the situation.
We gotta remember this is years of trauma, and I'm pretty sure I built this up in my head.
You could have the way you told me the story. the dad was like, oh, he's got this egg and he's moving it down. He's like, I think I got something in my pants.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly.
And the next thing you know, you were watching it like I'm just picturing you passing eggs on the way by. It just mid sprint picking it up on the hop.
Yeah.
As soon as it bounces out of his pant leg. Like
this is a scoop and score.
This is premeditated in my mind.
I don't think I would have paused, especially Kyle back then. I don't think I would have paused for too long, especially if there's other eggs to get. I really do think it was a drive-by. I may have stopped to go like, hey, what's that? Ooh, egg. And then went for it.
How old were you?
I think probably 5 or 6.
And she was probably 4, you think? So you probably had like a
lizards,
little bit cognitive
probably like a lizard
ability on her.
A little higher.
Yeah, a little more.
Oh, more so than any kid, man. I was killing it. I read so good in kindergarten.
You were like analyzing the landscape. Like these are the most like possible. Like Jason Bourne. Like these are the places that an egg would be. Yeah, I could tell you that I could find an egg over there, and I could take that kid in a fight.
Oh, yeah. Like in PE, like I remember like playing dodgeball and being like one of the best kids. Like I was out for blood back then for sure. I was a little terror.
That's fantastic.
And then I learned how to be peaceful, get my chakras aligned, read more, move less.
As far as like deep-seated guilt that I have, like left over from my childhood, like over something stupid, I don't think I have many of those stories. It's more.
Do you have awkward moments?
It's more awkward moments.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more just like things that I shouldn't be embarrassed about that I still hold on to for years. Like just that eat me alive when I think about them. The one that makes the least sense but still somehow affects me deeply was the 5th grade award ceremony where I got up on stage and they handed me the award, and I'd as the second best student in the school.
Hell yeah.
Brooklyn Outlaw was the first, which she does in the story here. As the second best student in school, I had seen her go up to get some award, and she held her thing like proudly in front of her. So she's got this thing on display. Everyone's seeing this great looking award from the cafeteria floor, and so I go up and I get my award, which is next to her, and I hold mine out, and I go about my thing, and we go down, and then later I see the video. And I realized that I've held mine upside down.
That's great.
And I look like a complete doofus. And for years, I harbored that inside.
Yeah.
It's only now that I can actually come out and talk about it, now that I'm more secure in my self-worth.
That's great. I wish I did that when I was younger. Fuck. I was way too smart.
I have a soccer story that makes me feel that way. I was playing defense. I was a defender at the time, and I went to clear the ball, and there was a guy running with the ball, and I went to try to get it from him, and somehow I stepped on the ball instead of kicking it, unfortunate soccer thing that happens, and it toppled me over, and I remember the kid laughing, and to me that was embarrassing, so I jumped up and I mocked his laugh. Very loudly, in his face. Yeah. But also, I kicked the shit out of the ball. I cleared it to hell, and I mocked his laugh. I later found out that it didn't look like I was mocking his laugh. It looked like I was screaming at him, like I don't know, Braveheart-esque, just in his face, just it didn't no one else got the ha 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 ha. Yeah. It was
there was no enunciation.
Yeah. So it just sounded like. Yeah, and I always think back to that, could have just played it a little cooler.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are the type of memories you kind of tend to block out. I just have fragments. Yeah. I've probably told these stories enough that other people at this table might be able to help me out, but I was in Miss McDaniel's 6th grade, or not 6th grade, 9th grade, Earth Space Science class. And there was a certain kid, we were doing a project on clouds. Do you remember this story?
I do. I didn't. So I'll do mine real quick. We had all semester to do it, right? I didn't do anything. So that was the start of me fucking off.
Straight from 8th grade to straight A's to 9th grade BSing. God, I don't remember. I hate to start this story. I was hoping you could give me the assist on this one.
I know what you did because it fucking showed us all up.
Okay.
Especially ones who didn't do it.
Oh, no, it wasn't the project I did. Okay. I made the tornado.
Yeah, it was dope.
It was the science thing. I didn't make the fucking tornado. My mom did.
Yeah, either way, it was dope.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything.
My mom got some dry ice, one of those ceiling fans, for the bathroom, when you done shitted. And when you turned it on, it would make a upside down tornado. And it was pretty cool. And I had no hand in it. Didn't even come up with the idea. It wasn't even my creative idea. I just stood there and watched it get built.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Whatever. No.
It
was Cody. Do you remember Cody?
Cody Pate?
No. The tall Cody. He was real tall.
Yes.
What did I fucking say? It was one of those things. It's a deep-seated guilt.
I could see that. He would definitely be a target in high school for sure.
Yeah, well, it wasn't meant to be mean, but it came off as I was like super evil. Sorry, I hate to think that I've ruined all of y'all's
Val Kilmer looking ass in freshman year.
The last 5 minutes of this podcast, me explaining the story, I couldn't finish off because I was hoping for an assist.
I got a story for you real quick then.
Please, maybe it'll remind me.
So this just makes me look like a shithead because I am one. Back in 6th grade, we had this like our big project for history class. We had a country that we had to pick, and we had to do a big project on it, and it was like a 20-page report. Like, it was something ridiculous like that for a 6th grader. Yeah. And you had to have all your references, and then you had to have a project that goes along with it, like some sort of like physical project. And my country was South Korea, and this was in 2003, I think. Whatever year that was, somewhere in there, 2002, 2003. I know that because 2002, the World Cup was held in South Korea, and I wanted to talk about that. And this was like right when the internet was a thing, like for everybody in their homes. But for whatever reason, like I don't think no one said Google something yet because that didn't exist.
I think it existed, but there were still a lot of other players.
Yeah, it was like MSN, whatever.
It became a verb.
Yeah. It wasn't like the Google your information like in a second. Yeah. We had like, the dial up, like probably like tones or whatever. Anyway, instead of like, I want to talk about the World Cup being in South Korea. And while my sisters are writing this, or my older sister is writing this like 15-page report for me, whatever it was. My mom is working on the physical part of the project. I'm trying to find out if the World Cup was in South Korea. I did that by playing 2002 FIFA World Cup. And the only way I could figure out if it was in South Korea was to play through the whole like World Cup mode. So I probably played like 20 games of FIFA trying to figure out if the final stadium was in the capital of South Korea, which I think is Seoul.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's like I always felt like just a ginormous shithead thinking about that because I just played FIFA the whole day. Like,
Mom, I have to.
Yeah. No, and that's why I explained it. And they never called me on it either. It's not like they were like,
like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was just playing FIFA, and it's like I think it was.
That's some good older sibling, man. I would never.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. No fucking.
Yeah. I don't know. Why, I don't know.
I wouldn't even if she could. Whitney could ask me like a simple math problem, and I would tell her the wrong answer on purpose, or just laud it over her head that I was a genius. I think she could never reach my tier of math skills.
Yeah.
Which is not something I feel bad about, but whatever I did to Cody and repressed, I do feel bad about, and that ties into your egg story. That was the point. I was trying to empathize. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to reconstruct it.
It's okay. We don't need to revisit it any longer. I want to make my point clear. That's all I was going for.
Did you tell him to suck it?
Yeah, it was for a long time. It was a guilty thing that I just kept inside.
Especially because he was like this kid was definitely a meek individual.
He was a nice guy.
Yeah,
and I wasn't trying to be mean. It just came off so hateful, and everyone laughed. And it was not.
Do you think it actually affected him?
I don't fucking know, but I don't want to think about it.
Maybe. Especially,
let's get him on the pod. Let's get him on
at this point, we can all. Your guess is as good as mine as to what I said, but it wasn't intentionally hateful. But it definitely sounds like it whenever you say it again. I've blocked it out. We don't need to talk about it anymore.
Do you have any
too speculative?
Do you have any more news things that we want to get to?
Well, we only managed to talk about the first fucking one before we went off the rails.
We did Nintendo Switch and John Carpenter's dead. Okay. I kind of like. I don't know. I think we may want to switch it up. Like, I'll think of a topic instead of news stories.
Yeah.
Because it's tough to find news stories. Like, there's another one like GGC cancels Achievement Award for Atari founder Nolan Bushnell. I got some things to say about that. I don't want to go out on that note.
No. Yeah, the only other one that I can think of is the one I think Jimmy posted, where I don't know who posted it, but will the boxes, gambling boxes.
Will loot boxes
be considered gambling? So that was real interesting.
I guess I didn't know the backstory to that. I said yeah, but I just meant that in terms of like, yeah, it's gambling. It's definitely gambling. Whether like someone actually passes like a federal mandate on it, probably not.
Well, I mean, it would be really good for gamers if they just got rid of that bullshit. Like, spend $3 to open a loot box to see if you get the prize that you wanted. Because if they just made that content free, like a time-based reward or whatever, like every 12 hours you get to open up a free reward or whatever.
Yeah, but a lot of games are getting made because they can do that. It's another way of getting the game made.
Also, I don't see that going away.
Yeah, no, I don't. There's no way they.
Well, it's interesting.
In a world with scratch offs
you hear about you hear about young kids, and this is just kind of bad parenting.
Yeah.
Or I won't say bad. I don't want to judge parents, but like. Kids shouldn't have access to credit cards, but you'll hear about like the kid spent $700 on packs on FIFA or whatever, and it's just like that's a surprise. Yeah. Like Bill.
And there may be some things like maybe because all this shit's still new, so maybe they'll release like the ESRB will release some standard like, hey, if your game's a teen and under, you have to have these pay gates in place to make sure, or some sort of notification where it has to text the phone number on file before you can authorize a charge.
You would hope that they would have done that before it made it to the point, like,
well, it depends how bad it gets, right?
Made it to the federal level that people are starting to try and pass these laws. It would have been pretty cool if they had done that before. Well, it's kind of been proactive instead of reactive. But I liked what you just said. I thought that's a pretty cool idea. Have you been thinking about that one? Cooking around?
No, that is off top of the dome. Yeah, I'm just extremely intelligent.
Like we said, Kyle's much smarter.
Kyle's the intellectual. We all just kind of look up to him. He's got this computer thing over here. He records our voices.
These things.
It's a deal.
You have a deal?
Yeah, I have a deal.
It was a deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. I don't know. Is it really that bad? Because this is a Hawaii legislation, right? That's what's everyone's talking about.
I have no idea. I just saw that. I thought it was federal.
Well, like a Hawaii senator is bringing it to the House or Senate. You know how laws work. We don't have to explain.
Yeah, we're not going to break that down.
Yeah, we're going to break it down. That's another video.
Break out our 10th grade American government knowledge. Like, no one.
I could probably play a FIFA game for a little while. I'll get back to you on the answer for that.
But even that's like, if it is the one I'm thinking about, that's a weird thing to bring it, because that was brought to light because of the whole Battlefront 2 thing, and that wasn't. Hey, kids are spending thousands of dollars of their parents' money. That was just a bunch of gamers going, that sucks.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I guess if you could validate it, like if you could actually show that it's forming like addictive personalities or something, or people that have addictive personalities.
I hate to talk out of turn and say that they've already done it, but I've heard enough things. I do believe that they've shown that it accesses those same
for sure,
those same animal portions of the brain that gambling does. And
even the leveling systems in games are meant to be addictive. So.
Yeah. I just don't foresee, maybe something, I got to catch up, obviously I'm uninformed on this. I don't see, even as authoritarian as both parties are now, Democrat and Republican, I don't see a Republican House or Senate passing a more stringent law on this stuff when China across the ocean just requests that they show their chances of getting certain items through these loot boxes. I don't see a more stringent thing being passed while they're flying the flag of, hey, no socialism, or,
Yeah. I do understand why, like, it's frustrating, so, I know FIFA, unfortunately, so I'm going to go back to
FIFA's had that model for a while, right?
Yeah, the packs for Ultimate Team, I think, I actually, so, Messi, for a while, was the most expensive player you could get out of a pack. I actually packed him once. And the chances of that happening were 1 in 600,000 or something ridiculous like that. So it was like winning a lottery of sorts. Mm-hmm. And I never really appreciated that I did it. I was I sold him instantaneously. Oh, yeah. I was 1,200,000 coins, super sweet. But it was I don't know, for a lot of people, there's no way for me to grind out that many coins to ever afford Messi. So the only way I'd ever get him is by packing him or packing enough players that I could sell to get him. If I got I don't know what another expensive player would be, but if I got 6 of him and sold them and then finally bought a Messi. But either way, I'm still spending money or getting extremely lucky in a free pack.
Do those things carry over from game to game?
Yeah.
See, there's a few things that go into that. Like, I'm sure it was super cool when you open it. I probably would have done the same thing as you because, one, it's a digital asset. So just intuitively, just where I'm at now, I'm sure that'll change over time.
I probably could have sold it for real life money, which I didn't think.
Yeah, like sell your account or something, or do a trade. Maybe.
Yeah, I could have probably traded it. Sold it for $50 or $100 or something.
Yeah, I probably would have looked into something like that.
Wow.
I didn't think of it. I wish I would have now.
I don't know any game. I haven't played any game where loot boxes were either readily apparent to me or affected me in the least bit. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I don't play Call of Duty. I didn't play Battlefront. I
played a little bit of Hearthstone in the beginning. I remember
Hearthstone. Yeah, I guess there were. I mean, that's a card game. I guess
just by its definition, yeah.
It's different for me. I don't see it like that. These aren't cosmetic items. They're just cards, digital cards, whatever. So I don't know. Other than that game, I can't think of anything where I was getting cards and I didn't buy a goddamn pack in that game. I don't spend money.
You did you?
No.
I thought we both laid down money at the same time.
I never spent money in that game.
I think like for me, like the PUBG items they're all just cosmetics, right? Or are there ones that affect your gameplay?
Are you talking specifically PUBG or Fortnite?
PUBG. Fortnite, they don't.
For me, PUBG, like, they're all so insignificant and dumb looking. I can't, unless you get that one coat, I don't see why you would want to spend money on those cosmetics. There's nothing cool about them. They're just like,
does the coat do anything, or is it just a coat?
It's just it's like the one distinctive thing you could wear. And again, you can find it in the game if you just look around, and then you can wear it. So it's just, you start out with that coat. So the PUBG doesn't make a good argument, at least for me, for spending any money beyond what I've already spent to buy that game.
It does annoy me when you can get things for money. I think that was the big argument with Battlefront 2. Is like you spend money and you get an advantage over other players.
Yeah, there's that. There's also
That's where it starts getting nasty, yeah.
The gating of content. So like you had to play, I forget what it was like 100, 200 hours to unlock one character, like Darth Vader or something like that. That sucks. Yeah. Like I bought a product. Give me my money's worth, please. Which I think it goes more into that stuff, honestly. I think people only get nitpicky when it comes to products when the overall experience... Like, there's a bigger problem. Like, I think of products like Star Wars, The Last Jedi, which has been talked to death. But the reason why people nitpick that stuff and pull out individual scenes is because there was a much bigger problem that allowed them to then go like, okay, let me try to contextualize by scene. But there's actually something more basic they're missing. So I don't necessarily point towards, like, loot boxes as the issue. It's more of the content you had on offer wasn't enough. Or maybe even just the way you presented it. Maybe it was enough content, but you presented it in a shit way. Yeah. And it was that big thing that allowed everyone to hone in on this one little thing.
That's a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the way they think about it, especially since they're going to try out the loot crate or the crate stuff soon again. They announced that they were going to put that back in Battlefront 2, which they said they were going to do. I'm curious how they revamped it. Not enough to buy the game.
It's a difficult thing to balance because, like, first... Fortnite, we say, like, I'm glad that I don't have to pay for anything to give me an advantage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also feel a little bit cheated when I win and I don't get anything. Like there should be some sort of reward, I think, for doing your game well when it's online.
Yeah. My only thing to say against that is, as above average players, which I do feel confident in saying because we rarely die before the first 50 people.
Students.
Exactly, yeah. So we can't read for shit, but we can kind of shoot guns. We've won more games. We've won more games than probably a lot of people. Yeah, you think?
I would say so.
Than most players, because most players aren't.
Yeah, I would say like I think we won. Whatever. How long did it take us to get our first one? It was that like first or second night, right?
Yeah.
I know people like on my Twitter timeline that are like still looking for that first solo win. I was like,
I won my first solo game within the first 5 or 6 games I played. Granted, I played a lot of squads by then.
Yeah,
but still,
yeah.
So it wasn't. I think we're spoiled in that respect. Like we've won enough that we're like, why can't we get like 100 credits for that? Everyone else is just happy to finally reach that mountain, take that pinnacle. I don't think it's...
I think as they put more items in the game, like it'd be cool to get like a spin at a wheel or something. Like you made it like one out of 100 chance to win.
And shit, this game it's in early access. I suppose. That's what
so like
seasons.
I guess if you had 500 outfits out there, and I had a chance, if there was one I really wanted, I could spend $20 on it, or I could keep rolling this thing, and maybe I'd eventually get it.
Yeah,
that would be kind of
cool. Their current system doesn't have any any way of getting someone like me to spend the money.
Yeah.
No,
They haven't solved that mystery. How to someone who's played their game for over 40 hours to want to spend a fucking dime.
And I really appreciate, because I think that you were one of the first people that have said this, or maybe it was both of you. Like, if you like a game, you will spend money to support it.
Yeah.
And I super agree with that. But there's really nothing. There's nothing enticing me here. And if there was, I would definitely support it, because I've had a blast playing Fortnite. Like, I'd say it's probably the most fun I've had
if
playing
there was
a video game.
some awesome
with people.
costume that I just like, okay, I gotta get. It was like a Space Jam. It's a Michael Jordan skin from Space Jam. You know, he's
like if they could get some licensing and stuff. Like, I would love to run around
really
as
cool like
Goofy
that.
or something. Something.
I don't think they give you a good enough taste, honestly, with the free to get you into it. They don't make a good case for hey, here's what you're missing out on, or hey, you could get these things faster if you go the premium route.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The thing that they go with is you could level up quicker if you go premium,
But
which will eventually give you more skins. But I don't think they give you a taste.
Yeah. Whereas, like you look at a game like Overwatch, which I know you two haven't played, but all their loot boxes are cosmetic, but you earn them at a pretty steady pace, and you'll get a better idea of, hey, this is what I want to get. And it's like, okay, well, if I throw $20 their way, maybe I'll get this special thing that I've been wanting to get. I've been getting all these other cool things, so I already know kind of what I want for the most part. I also know like what the feeling comes with getting something super special.
yeah. I always think maybe like if they had like for Fortnite specifically, like if you were playing maybe like 1 out of 50 games instead of spawning with the usual bullshit skin, you might get like a cool one. Like,
that'd be a good idea.
And just like and then you would have that taste of what it feels like to be special, running around in a cool, different skin than everybody else. Maybe that would be...
I'm sure stuff like that will come. I like the idea of getting to spin the wheel. At a certain, once you've won, or you may get jack shit, you may get something really cool, but I don't think the game's fleshed out enough for that right now. I think they got overwhelmed with success.
For sure.
40 million downloads, and
they're just trying to keep the servers right.
Before December, I didn't hear anything about that battle royale mode, and then after December, my timeline, my Instagram, everything is just being bombarded with fucking memes.
And you also got to think of the trajectory of the game. Like the way it started was pretty rough. I know they sold like 1 million, I think, which is pretty good. But I want to say their user rates were dropping pretty significantly until the Battle Royale thing happened.
Yeah.
Which thankfully it's Epic, so they were able to handle the traffic. I don't think most companies would have done that.
Would have been able to just had the servers to dust off.
Yeah, just have the engineering acumen and the equipment on hand to do that. Speaking of which, they're closing down. I think we talk about that last podcast?
Paragon?
Yeah, they shut down Paragon.
I don't remember much. It's just been you and me.
Yeah. I don't really care too much about Paragon, so I don't have an opinion on it.
I've been seeing that game for years. Never really interested enough to actually pick it up.
I hope that means they're diverting resources, which I imagine that's what it is. They're diverting resources to Fortnite, so we'll have some more peeps working on Fortnite. Because it's definitely a platform at this point, I think.
More artists, more people designing elements of the game. That map has definitely things to be improved. Maybe more maps.
Yeah,
a lot of things you'd want to see come from something.
It's all about like how long can they keep this going.
I'm really pleased with what they're running the sniper shootout game mode this week, which adds something new. The people who've been playing it for a while get you to start using guns that you wouldn't normally play. It almost feels like a training sim.
Yeah, you can also train up just on shooting those things.
Everyone sucks at sniping, so they're like, okay.
By the end of the weekend, a lot of people.
Yeah, when I made the joke, like what we had, Epic must have seen that there was, 500,000 sniper shots taken and only 3 managed to hit, and they were all within 30 meters. So, that's kind of how it feels. When someone started shooting with a sniper, it was more just like, here I am. That's what it...
Hey,
unless you were... Especially on the run. Like, if you were moving, getting hit wasn't much of an issue. Standing still,
I'm a lot more confident with a sniper rifle.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah. I think it's really cool that they did that.
Yeah, give a shit.
Just need more of that.
I'd like different things thrown in there. Like, I think it'd be a lot of fun, like, if you jump out of the party bus in a real thick fog. Maybe that fog.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that way you wouldn't quite know where you're going. Maybe the mini-map's blocked.
With fog also.
And you're just like, where am I landing? And then you finally get below the clouds, and it's like right, maybe like 10 seconds after your parachute deploys. So then, like, you finally come out of the fog, and you're like, okay, now I really have to, like, scramble to get to a weapon or something, and you didn't know that you were dropping on the edge of the cliff or, in the middle of the map.
Because it seems like they've built a decent engine. I mean, they've definitely taken their time with it. So like, I would like to see more weather effects, more just environmental things happen. I think would be cool.
The weather or the day-night cycle and everything that shit affects me. Like I was sitting there and knowing that the sun was behind me, I was really aware that where I was standing, I was very obvious. Like with the sun in my back, if someone was looking at me, I would be clearly displayed across the horizon. Yeah. And I thought, just having that thought, I was really kind of impressed with that.
Yeah. I'm almost thinking, like, if you can remember back to, like, Gears of War type stuff, where, like, the environment would change as a multiplayer map would progress. I don't know if you remember, like, there was a map that one...
Talking about the main clock tower? It was called the Bell Tower map?
Maybe that. I don't know if I remember specifically that one, but I remember, like, there was a map that would flood certain areas of the map at certain periodic moments. I would like maybe just not across the entire map, maybe some animal NPCs, like a gator you had to fucking deal with. So, like, you're trudging through the swamp trying to get out, and then, like, oh shit,
like a loot lake,
that's a gator. Yeah. So you gotta take care of the gator.
Pretty funny.
Just a little bit more. I don't know if that could fit in the game, but maybe give it a shot.
Maybe. The game's so simple right now, I think that serves for everyone being able to hop in. Okay, I've played a video game before, so I know that white's the worst, green's the second best, blue's the rare, and like I said before, the floor is so low for getting into that game, and the ceiling's fairly high because the shooting. It's not a gimme. You're going to hit someone on a lot of those guns, a lot of those shots, especially when it comes to sniping.
My revolver game is up so high, comparative to where it was.
I get wrecked by people with pump shotguns still, and I've been playing this game for 40 hours, and someone rolls in and hits me with a pump shotgun headshot for 240 fucking damage, and I'm dead every time. Yeah, whatever. Well, that was our Fortnite 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was also thinking about this as we were talking about...
Well-informed 5 minutes.
Yeah, talking about games of service. Like, last week when we touched on the Xbox game service and they're including new games.
Yeah.
It was mentioned on another podcast. I want to say maybe Giant Bomb, but I'm curious if... Say...
I know what you're going to say.
You think I am? Whether the new revenue model changes the design of the game, where Halo is no longer sort of like a standalone product, but say over the years, Halo 8 or whatever, it becomes more as games of service, so it keeps you plugged in to that $10 a month thing to de-incentivize you.
If we're at the point where Xbox needs that, like to stay afloat, if their entire model as a console has turned to that, I don't think we're going to be worried about that anymore because I don't think anyone's going to be playing. Like it's,
and they're gonna buy Valve anyway. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They're gonna get those Valve games for sure. They're gonna take over Steam and just become a.
I don't even think they need to be
machine
in a desperate situation. I just think there needs to be one boardroom meeting going like, hey, there's this is a room for these services so we can keep them on the hook longer. Like I imagine those talks have already happened in some way. I doubt it's going to affect something like Halo 6, which I imagine has been in development for a while. Else I don't know what those guys are doing. But I could see that easily, like looking back 5 years from now going like, oh, that's where all that started. Yeah, just a thought.
Yeah, I guess I also realized for our movie passes, if you cancel your movie pass, technically it says you can't sign up for
another 9 months.
For another 9 months.
Okay.
So they could do something like that. Like if you just sign up because you want to play the new Halo, if you cancel your subscription and there's another game coming out in 2 months, if you cancel it, you can't sign up.
I don't think Microsoft would turn away $10 ever. They're gonna take your money.
Maybe. And I don't know. I also feel like
Movie Pass has almost no incentive to do it. I don't understand it. They'd have someone have to.
That's a lot better than their previous setup.
Yeah, someone would have to explain it to me why Movie Pass does it. I don't get it.
Well, I think mostly because they make most of their money just from selling their information.
Maybe sign-up costs for memberships super high, like to actually
activate a card.
Yeah, to actually activate subscribers a lot. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not sure how that revenue model works at all. Anyway, even with the info you're giving them via your phone, like I don't understand the economics work out at all. I feel like maybe $20 I'd get it. $10 just seems
$20. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, is this for like an initial investment? Okay, let's get everyone on board. We're going to take a loss here in the first year.
Yeah.
We're going to have to crank that price up next year. Hopefully everyone sees that, okay, I'm going to watch every single fucking movie out there. And I haven't figured out why movie theaters hate this because I have bought significantly more popcorn per month since I've had MoviePass than I ever did before. So why do they care about asses and seats? Because they're making money on concessions.
There's that, and they also have membership. So, like, one thing I wanted to do a lot, I can't do it because the AMC theater by me took a stand, while all the other AMC theaters haven't yet. But I have an AMC loyalty membership, so I could just keep going to their movie theater with the movie pass card,
free popcorn,
earn the rewards, get free whatever the hell I goddamn want. Because to them, it's he's spending a shitload of money here when really no, I'm not. So there's that.
But they're still getting
the money from MoviePass.
Well, and even then, I know there's theaters who also experiment with a loyalty program above just like simple like earning money, where it's like, hey, you get to see 3 movies a month.
Well,
so there's that.
Cinemark,
there's a really shitty Cinemark program.
The Cinemark thing near us is fucking a joke. Like, so for our movie pass, for what, $10 a month, we can see unlimited movies, and we just have to buy our own popcorn.
Each movie one time.
Yeah. Cinemark's deal is you get 1 movie per month, and then you can also add on additional tickets for your friends for a slightly cheaper price.
No, it's for $9. It's $8.99 for any additional tickets purchased. So if you saw a primetime movie, which normally costs like $10, you'd get $1 off.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So like... And then you get 20% off concessions. It was like,
how much is it?
It's $9 a month.
Yeah.
You're saving $1 on a movie ticket and getting.
So yeah, and you get 1 free movie a month. So yeah, your only savings are on concessions.
I think that goes to the point though, right? Like in a world where there doesn't exist a movie pass, like okay.
But now that movie pass exists, it's such a trash deal that I wouldn't sign up for it.
Yeah, probably not. Someone would, I'm sure. Someone who really loves a local Cinemark.
But yeah, I mean, I bought popcorn and buy their $5 waters. You know, like...
Water's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the water's $5. I would just thirst to death. I don't care.
I mean, just for my personal circumstances, I want a water in there, and I don't always feel like sneaking one in.
You also don't have a purse, so it kind of...
Yeah, I mean...
I actually bought some like movie candy and put it in the fridge. So whenever we go, like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's what we used to roll to Walmart and just buy they have the $1 movie theater snacks, and I'm like, cool, this is perfect. I'm not gonna spend $20 to get these Reese's Pieces. I'm happy about that. Like, also, I mean, I think they need to take a look at their model, because I do think that they've almost outpriced their market. You know. If you lower the snacks to $2, do you sell twice as many? And therefore, instead of selling 1 for $4, you sell 2 for.
I'm sure someone's crunching those numbers.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like
pilot programs. I don't think so. Happening. I really don't think so, because the movie fucking business is dying. Mm-hmm. Like movie theaters are struggling. Like. So they gotta do something different. Like, apparently MoviePass has like a lot of people upset, but they haven't taken the time to actually look at their own problems. Like, why can't we get people in seats? Oh, it's because a fucking family of 4.
Why is everyone talking about MoviePass? It does, exactly. A family of 4. If you want to buy a goddamn soda for your kids, every one of them needs a soda. Maybe a small popcorn or a large popcorn to split between them. Yeah. You're going to spend so much money.
Yeah,
it's over $100 an outing.
$40 to $60 for tickets plus $40 in snacks. You spend $100 to go see fucking Jumanji, and
what a wonderful time they had.
And you're talking 2 hours of entertainment, which I appreciate. Entertainment, like that's why I go to the movies. I think $10 is a fair trade for myself to be entertained for 2 hours, but I also don't have to buy it for 5 other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a problem with
Most of the people that I hear say, yeah, I might make 1 or maybe 2 trips to the theater a year.
That blows my mind.
Well, yeah, I guess you also don't have 3 kids, right?
You're also...
Well, yeah,
that's the problem, I think, which is the majority of the audience for these movies, the target audience for Guardians of the Galaxy, the family with the kids. So the target audience for Star Wars, it's the family with the kids. The target audience for Thor. Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
No one's dropping 100 bones on Paddington.
Yeah, I think the big thing is here, we're in a world of 65-inch 4K LED OLED TVs in your living room. Like, I mean, I know not everybody has that TV, but a lot of people, like almost everybody has a 4K TV right now that if they've upgraded within the last couple of years.
At this point, if you're upgrading television, you might as well get one because
they're
why
cheap.
not?
They're cheap.
Yeah.
Like it's like a new TV. You can go to Best Buy or Sam's Club and buy $300. Get a 55-inch, 65-inch 4K TV. It's not going to be the nicest one on the market, but if you get to see that movie for $20 in your home, cheap snacks, cheap
or $6 because you rented it on Voodoo.
Yeah. Or $1 if you go Redbox,
or free through other means.
Yeah, I mean, not that we endorse those, but and the sports industry is going through the same thing with getting people in seats in stadiums, because it's a lot easier, or it's almost more enticing for me to watch the football game on my couch instead of going to Gainesville.
I think sports has an even worse problem.
Oh yeah,
because it's objectively better to watch it, to watch the game.
Yeah, you get
to
commentary.
Experience the game. It might be better to go to a stadium. It's probably better to go to a stadium to experience it, but to watch it, it is objectively better to watch it on the screen. You get to the instant replay right there immediately.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
How do you get asses in seats? Yeah. Especially when you look at an NFL ticket and they're like, yeah, these puppies are $100 a seat and they're not even a good seat.
Well, if you look at baseball games, you charge in $8 for a hot dog or whatever. They just released I think it was the Atlanta Braves released their sales, and however the information got out, they sold a significant amount more concessions than any other team, and their prices are lower. It's maybe that's it. Maybe you don't gouge your fans, and maybe you actually start selling stuff. Maybe you don't make the consumer spend $8 or $10 on a popcorn, and sell change your sizes. Maybe you don't sell them 4 gallons of popcorn, but make it $3 for a popcorn that is a reasonable amount of popcorn.
Because we all know popcorn don't cost jack shit.
Yeah,
fucking cunts.
Yeah.
God damn it.
You're not fooling anyone.
Quit filling that bag up to the brim, my man, all the way up. I paid $8 for this.
Going all the way. Yeah. It's just, first of all,
the worst part about it. No, just let me have a moment. Yeah, I'm sorry. You've got your large popcorn and your large soda, because by getting the large soda and the large popcorn, you have effectively saved 60 cents.
It's the combo saver.
Exactly. So I would have been losing money. Okay, so I go up there the other day, and the guy's like, "Are you sure you wouldn't want to get another large popcorn and another large drink? Because then you would get a free milk duds."
Yeah.
Were you by yourself on this?
I was with Skylar.
Okay.
I was with Skylar, and they're like, "Are you sure?" And I looked at him, and I'm like, "My dude, get the fuck out of here."
Skylar's tiny.
Yeah.
First of all,
you saw how
she's gonna eat 4 kernels.
That popcorn. For a fact, because you saw how much damage that she did before she just passed the bag and just forgot that it existed.
I will say most movie theaters, I don't know if Cinemark does it or the Cobb, but if you buy a large drink and a large popcorn in a lot of movie theaters, you can get a free refill.
You do get the free refill.
And I think they have to give it to you right then. You don't have to bring your bucket back out later. If you just say, "Hey, can I get my refill?" They're like, "Yeah, fuck you." You don't. So that's something to
free refill. That's another bag.
Yeah, like the Cobb gives it in a bag, in an actual plastic bag.
So they're not going to. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
so I could ask for it.
Yeah.
Give it to you. You could pay $3.50 of my popcorn, and we would both have popcorn.
We could have full bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually probably what we're gonna fucking do from now on.
Yeah. Fuck you, Cobb. We broke the system.
Yeah.
I broke the conditioning.
Yeah. All right. These guys are when this goes, this is the podcast that goes viral for this very reason. Yeah. We're giving America their popcorn back.
Movie hacks.
Yeah.
They gotta wait for 2 hours.
That's definitely the title of the episode. Yeah.
Make movies great again.
Yeah. If you've listened to 2 hours and 23 minutes,
don't get movie cooked by the socialists.
Don't get movie cooked for sure.
Let's see. Do we want to touch on anything else? I think we've done pretty good.
I think we've touched a lot of things tonight.
Yeah, we're about 2 hours, and Bangerz is just filled with noises.
He's having a good time.
So many noises.
He's having a real good time.
Well, he's hearing us getting riled up.
Yeah.
Sorry if that comes out through the audio. I'll do what I can. It usually doesn't sound that bad. It usually seems a lot worse than it actually is.
I don't think any of them I've never heard. Yeah, for sure. I've never heard Bear do anything besides the one time he barked.
That's because I'm so good.
It came off pretty audibly.
Yeah.
But, all right, I'll wrap this up. So that will be it for this week. We'd like to thank you for watching the Game Bangers, podcast formerly known as Goof Troop, and we'll see you next week.
Mm.